I'm so scared, but it's going to be so good. Like, I'm scared in the best way possible.
Hello and welcome to the GiGa podcast with the host Ben, me, Jack, and our guest star Craig. Let's get straight into it.
What about the opening weekend of the Premier League?
Great start to the weekend. Definitely did not happen how I thought it was going to.
It's great for us. I don't know about you as a Man
As
United.
a United, how did you take this first weekend?
It's a rebuild.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
face it, it is a rebuild. Like, when our three summer signings so far is backup left back, Ericsson, who's going to take time to really fit back in, and Martinez, who's coming into a new style of football. Maybe he is used to Ten Hag, but he's not used to playing in the Prem. It is a different kettle of fish at the end of the day. So I haven't really watched the highlights of Match of the Day yet. Because I was working, and then I came home and I cooked and then collapsed on the bed.
Nice.
That was literally all I've done. So from what I've heard, it was just a shit show though.
Yeah, it's probably for the best you didn't watch it. I saw let's say
Cheers.
first half, might as well not turned up.
Well, apparently it was till we put Ronaldo on the pitch, an actual striker on the pitch, that we were just nowhere. And that might just be their centre backs were just too high up, and we don't know how to counter that.
Yeah, Ronaldo
Until
did change the
Ronaldo
dynamic.
pushed it, but then back. What's the point in having Ericsson as a false nine?
It's not going to work. He can't.
He's a shadow striker at
He's-
his best in the cam position.
Yeah, he's a bit more outside the box play, get the ball to feet, move out,
Yeah.
and go from there. But it's also in midfield. Like, I'm not slating Fred, but Fred and McTominay together. Yes,
Can you
individually.
remember, like, last year, right? Fred played for Brazil, and he played like he was actually Brazilian.
It's
If that
same-
makes any sense.
This
Like,
happens for all international games though. You look at Maguire for club, you know, he does kind of do his job, but when it comes to country, especially during the Euros last time, it was great.
Well, that's why he got picked up for 80 million for the World
Yeah,
Cup for
that-
not that long ago. But it's the same as fucking Xhaka last year. When he was playing for Switzerland, he was fucking in his prime pinging balls left, right, and centre. Comes to Arsenal, and he's just not hit that level. There's the type of passion with your country that you wouldn't have as a club. You you don't
that's
care
why
about
I like
the club.
McTominay. He's not a starting midfielder, and it is either Fred or McTominay.
Mm.
But either or, you're not really gonna be wanting them in their current state.
No, and it's not just that. How your defence meant to be confident when they've got a midfield in front of them that isn't making them confident at the minute.
It's not
Like-
even that. If what I've heard from various people, like Mark Goldbridge, if all of that is true, like under Ole, he wasn't taking training sessions properly.
What's that? Sorry, what's true?
So, in general, Ole apparently wasn't taking the training sessions. He was telling, it was reverted back to how it was under Fergie, where Fergie would be more man management than tactical. He just like, ooh, I really like how this sets up, and gives the direction to his coaching staff.
And then the coaches would
Yeah.
take the lead on from what he said,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Okay, I
It
didn't
all
know
comes
that.
down to like personality of
Yeah.
the manager though. Fergie was a hard manager, you know.
You look-
He knew what he wanted, and
So-
the players knew what he wanted.
So apparently, you think we went from Fergie to Moyes. Moyes apparently first team meeting, he goes, "I want you boys to teach me what it means to be at a big club."
Yeah,
That's his first team meeting. Boom, confidence knocked. Then you have Louis van Gaal, who is a big manager. He's done a lot, and he got sacked after winning the FA Cup.
yeah. Moyes got very unlucky from there though. Imagine having to take up
It's a
after
mantle.
Sir Alex Ferguson. And then he's gone to West Ham, didn't he? He went there and he done
And he's
really well.
resiled.
Changed
He-
West Ham.
You would never have
But
guessed
you
this.
think West Ham got screwed over when Dean Ashton had his knee injury?
Yeah. I met Dean Ashton. I was a junior hammer when I was younger, you know. And I met Dean Ashton, Anton Ferdinand,
Bartender.
Alan Pardew. I met Alan Pardew. I'll have to bring it next time I run it. I've got a thing when I go home next. I've got all signed. Do you remember shootout cards? from
Well,
back
like
in the
match-
day.
Yeah,
Like
match
They were
attacks.
shootout.
They were
Shootout.
before match attacks. So shootout cards. I collected. There was
I
was
can
a red
remember like
book.
Adrenaline XL.
There was a red book and it was 2003 to 2004, and I think I did the yellow one, which was 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
I've got all the West Ham players signed there, like Marlon Harewood, Bobby Zamora, Teddy Sheringham. I met
Bobby
Teddy Sheringham.
Zamora.
I've got a funny story about Teddy Sheringham. I forgot about this. Okay.
Wasn't it something about your sister?
Oh, I've got another. Yeah. No. So,
Immediately.
when I was about, I must have been about 6, 7, something about that, and Teddy Sheringham comes in with like these jeans on, and he was covered in paint, and I was like, I went to my mum after, I was like, oh, he's just come back from a painting job, because he had paint all up his jeans, me thinking he worked on the side whilst working at West Ham as a paint and decorator. No.
In my head, all I can remember, like, all I can see right now is, you know, the dungarees of that guy in Ballamore.
Oh my god! What's his name? Archie. Oh no, the guy with the white dungarees.
Yeah,
the white
yeah,
top. Yeah.
Was Archie the former
It was
comedian?
the one who wears pink, isn't it? in there?
Miles, he's a comedian.
Yeah,
in
he
real
is.
life.
Yeah. I've seen a few of his shows. He is funny.
Yeah, but no, I thought Teddy Sheringham was Teddy Sheringham out of everyone. Was a paint
Like, yeah, I
decorator.
could have. Teddy Sheringham's he looks like the type of lad who works on a site, who could work as a labourer.
Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know
you
anything.
would lose him in a side.
Definitely. Like, I didn't know anything about fashion, so imagine this footballer rocks up with paint all over his jeans.
Mate, imagine you rocking up to like a SU event as that. That'd be class.
So, with the thing with my sister, it was Paul Koscielny. Yeah, I can't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to take my sister home because
Oh.
okay. Calling you out, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Like, unfortunately, I don't know. It was probably just one of them things as a footballer where it's like, oh, you're cute. I wish I could take you home as like a. Oh yeah.
It could just be one of those things where you're like, that's taken out of context.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah,
interaction
banter,
with a
banter.
family and you don't know how to deal with it, so he's probably done that, and then yeah, that was. I was like, how does she get to meet all these people? She wasn't even there. She was just there, like outside the stadium or not. But yeah, that was in Upton Park. That was a fun time, to be fair.
Yeah, match attacks is where it all started for me. That's how I started supporting City.
Yeah.
It's the first team I ever finished back in 2004. It was the first team I completed. And
Do you
I was
know
like,
what,
I'll support
though?
these lot. And
It's either
worked perfectly for me.
that is the brilliant backstory or it's actually true.
that is 100%.
It's like I
So
feel
the
like
first
David
pack I ever
Mitchell's right
opened-
next to me.
The first pack I ever opened had Sean Wright Phillips in it.
Oh,
And then big old.
Was this
That's
prime
not me.
Sean White Phillips?
This
though?
was. Oh, he was decent. I think he picked up after a few.
Because
I think he was always. He wasn't always like great. He was good, and then he had a season. I think this is like before he joined. Is it QPR? He joined after that.
He was at Chelsea and City.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I think it was
I'll get
QPR.
it.
There was
came out.
another one.
I
he
think
was
QPR came after that because he kind of was like made himself at City, made in City kind of thing. But
he
like,
was okay
I think he was
at
good.
Chelsea.
well, talk about made in Chelsea. Kevin De Bruyne, what a player!
He wasn't made there. He was made in Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg as a city,
Alright,
it only
made-
exists because of Volkswagen. So therefore, Kevin De Bruyne only made it as a
Made in
As
Wolfsburg,
a
dismissed
decent
in
player.
Chelsea.
yeah, but he only made it as a player, arguably because of Hitler. Then you can put that in.
Yeah, so that was my Man City origin story of spoiled back in high school in 2004.
Oh,
First team I ever finished. I was
Tell
like,
you
I'll
what.
support these lot, and do you know what? I can't complain.
you know what? I am actually kind of jealous of City.
It did work. City.
City Football Group. I'm jealous of. I'm not jealous of Man City. Because they're
to
in
be
the
honest, the City.
shittiest of stadiums.
Wow.
Mate, I walked
personally like
into
the
Old
Etihad.
Trafford last season, and I walked in. I'm getting fucking goosebumps.
He walked into Old Trafford last season, walked out crying because they probably lost.
No, he won. Was it Scott McTominay on the volley from a corner?
Yeah. Hey, McTominay.
Yeah,
Put it in.
You went from Man City to QPR in
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah,
That's when that was, and then from QPR
That was
in
when-
2015.
that was when Fernandez brought out QPR. I think Air Asia. That era of QPR when they had Tower back.
Oh, 2011.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
bro,
forget,
FIFA,
bro.
5-star skills on FIFA,
Oh.
and it was nuts.
It might not have been a Southampton.
Oh, finally some good news on Arnautovic. Apparently it's ended our interest in Arnautovic. Oh.
I would say yes on that as well. Anyway, like he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League.
You
like,
Arnautovic?
yeah,
Not really.
but he can. Like when he can score goals,
He's-
and that he'll get you 5
What?
goals.
So
season to 10.
Arnautovic would be right now because Martial's injured. I don't know how long he's out for, but he's basically speaking. He's our main striker. He would be our main striker, and Arnautovic is our main. Like we've had it with Igalo. We've experimented now with Igalo, and we've experimented with Cavani. Ronaldo only came back because City was sniffing around him, and the Glazers just had Tom Brady take their NFL team to Buccaneers to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
too much about
that's
NFL.
why Ronaldo was brought back personally, because of the business side of things and because of Tom Brady doing that.
It's not because of the football side, obviously.
I don't see why it would be. I don't think he fits in the Premier League. Premier League, there's players who've come out and said how physically demanding it is compared to other
Yeah,
leagues.
I think because
And
he's been in Spain for years and in Italy, and it's kind of changed his whole.
The only other league that's like it is the Portuguese league.
Nah.
And Holland's come in, he's just scored a brace, but he's a very physical player.
I think
he's built different though. Haaland is.
If he can stay fit, like I read something the other day, and it was like
if he can stay, obviously can't stay young, but if he can stay fit, I agree.
the
100%.
other day I read something, and someone said that it might be he might actually get more than 1 goal a game ratio by the end of the season, and then someone commented, I was like, that's if he stays fit. But then the reply to that was even if he plays 15 games, he can probably score 25 goals, 20 goals. He's still gonna get. I think he genuinely will. I agree with the comment. He will get more than 1 goal, like 1 goal a game. Not every game. I'm not saying he's scoring every
He
game.
had that big injury last year, didn't he?
That's why I'm saying he needs
And
to stay fit.
He doesn't want to turn into Michael Owen.
No, go through it, Ballon d'Or.
But nah. To be fair, I reckon Haaland would be better anyway as a commentator, and his daughter, probably won't go on to Love Island.
Love Island.
Did
we
you
won't even talk.
Did you see his after match interview where he swore?
Oh
He
yeah.
was like,
yeah.
he was like, Haaland.
He was like, I think I've played shit.
No, he's like, I fucked it, or something like that.
I think he said, I think I played shit, and then the interview was like, you can't say that, and it was like, shit.
Why can't you though?
It's
Like,
because it's on public TV, isn't it?
Wow.
I think
There's
it's a
delay.
standard.
There is a delay. You have
It's
a
emotion.
production
He's just had his
crew.
first game in the Premier League for City. He scored a brace. The second person to do that at City on their transfer day.
No, I thought
Since
it-
Aguero.
Was it since?
Yeah,
I just
Aguero was the only other player we've had who scored a brace on their
I-
first game, on their debut for
Like
City.
full day.
on the
Yeah.
way it was
Yeah.
being worded, it's like the first guy in like 10+ years.
No,
Yeah,
since
Aguero.
Aguero, yeah.
Yeah,
Since
since
Aguero.
No, in the league.
I
It
don't know about.
sounded like
I don't
it
know
was
about
in
the league, but it is definitely for City. He's the first player on their debut to have scored a brace on their debut game, full debut game.
I miss Aguero. I'm not gonna lie, in the Premier League, what a player he was.
I'm happy we've got Haaland now because we need that person where we know we're going to get goals. I was saying earlier, I miss the days of Dzeko and Negredo where we had that target man.
I could never remember Negredo really doing much.
Oh mate, if you watched like clips of him, he
was
like
powerful.
he was there. You know, the people whip balls in. He was just there. That's what Haaland's. I know Haaland's not exactly the kind of guy who's going to be poaching all the time. He's the kind of guy that will run through a defence. But at least he's got someone there with a bit of height as well. Because the way City have been the past 10 so odd years, it's all tick-attack football, pass. Because we haven't had that.
Yeah, because
Like
even though
demanding presence up front
was
when
kind
someone's
of
just going
that.
to knock one in with their head. That's what it's been like for us, and it's worked. And I think it's changed the way the Premier League has been ever since that's properly been introduced into the Prem.
The fact you won the league last year without a striker is mad. You didn't have a proper striker there,
So-
number 9 to.
But
have them balls.
that's the way football is, because you think Antonio got injured for West Ham, and that's when Lingard went like that. He fucking turned up big time because they didn't have a strike and they had to resort to what City was playing with as more of a false nine.
It
with
works.
the two wingers.
Well, it was like Gabby, obviously, wasn't it?
It-
Obviously, Jesus you've got now.
It works in a way that if you know how to space, use space and create space. So you have a threat on the wing. So you had Sterling, you had
Mahrez, Foden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that option, so you get a player dragged out. That false nine then gets into that space, and the offside trap no longer works because one person's drawn out of space, and then you are running in behind.
I know,
and that's what it was.
I know it's a different thing, but Mbappe does that really well, where he drags defenders so far up and then just digs their shoulders.
A lot of it is
Mbappe's
pace.
overrated.
It's his pace. He's just so fast, and it just baffles. And let's be honest,
He's become stagnant now.
I don't think he's overrated. I think he is really good. I just think
When he was needed for France, the last two tournaments, he came up short.
I think one of the if you're talking about France in tournaments, is Pogba turned up for that, and
But
in
then
the
that
final,
comes back. That comes back to what I think of United right now, where we're not coaching our players and we're not giving them the support they need and telling them really what's wrong.
Yeah.
And because Pogba at the time was a United player, went to France, plays amazingly. Fred, Brazil, same. Scott McTominay at Scotland, same.
passion. There is.
It's national pride, isn't it? On the
Is it just passion?
Think though, as a club, you can go to, unless it's your boyhood, like say if it's your boyhood club and you get to play from, you'll have some sort of passion there. But at the end of the day, football is about, you want to be at winning teams, you want to be at the team that's going to pay you the most. At the end of the day,
when I think as a kid, when it comes to football, people want to play for their country, to represent their country.
You want to,
yeah, that's the. I always remember like playing
100%.
football and thinking like I wanted to play for them. I'm
yeah,
shit, but-
same. Like,
you don't think, oh, I'm going to play for United, because realistically, you're
Oh
thinking.
no, it was England and United.
Yeah,
always.
but
I'm
when
not
you're
Ryan
as a
Giggs,
kid,
I'm
you're
not
thinking, if I can
I'm
play
not
for anyone, my
United
country.
Wales.
It's pride, isn't it? It's national pride at the end of the day. You want to be the best you can for your country because you're representing the best of your country.
you have no
In a way.
choice in where
So
you're.
the sport anyway.
You have no
But
choice for the
at
country you play
same
for.
Time, like I'm looking at it now, especially now in this era. Back years ago, yeah, fair enough. It might be passion for the country. Now, I'm like, what do people even play for other than money?
It's a very good way of promoting yourself. If you're talking to players like Calvin Phillips, for example, coming to City now, if he's a decent player, but because he did so well for England, that instantly it's like boosting your resume, isn't it?
The fact that Phillips turned United down because of the history with the club. The history of the club was based on a historic war. Therefore, you should not also join City because it is the Manchester aspect of it. Obviously, it did later bloom into also competition, but it is also a local thing based off a historic war.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rivalry. That's why it's like a.
But so like I was talking to I was talking to just shout for bartender.
Bartender. Drink me.
What?
It's up to you both.
The offer's out there.
I don't know. I just reminds me of Futurama, mate. But I was talking to Brad, and Brad lives. Oh, where is it?
Brad's one of Ben's workmates, by the way. Bit of context behind that.
Yeah, we don't talk about Brad when it comes to varsity, alright? Kill scum.
That's a different story.
But he was talking, I think, I can't remember where he lives, but I know the rival team I think is Blackpool.
I'm trying to think where it is around.
I'll Google it. I'm on it. I'm on.
Research team, research.
What? Should I just get on it and just like Blackpool rival team and then we go from
Yeah,
there?
I know he's slightly
What
more
areas around
northern.
Blackpool?
Preston, North End. Is it them? Preston.
No, I don't.
That's their official rivals, apparently.
Yeah, that's apparently that.
Do areas around Blackpool maybe? That's all I can think of. It's going to be like one of these smaller ones, isn't it? Like you don't really click.
I'm going to
until you
look
do.
on Snapchat.
I'm trying to think of areas around Blackpool. But I can't.
If not, give him a message and see if he replies by the end, and then we'll go back to it when he replies.
Earlier notes. No, I think with the international thing, I think it is a lot about the pride now, and it is a career boost. So,
Well, okay, with football and money, let's go with this scenario, right? Whilst this is on my
football
mind.
owns money.
Sorry, can
Money
I,
owns football
Craig,
now,
I gotta
sorry.
show you something real quick.
Right.
That was
Me and Ben lived in this uni accommodation. You need to show the camera just so we just.
you know what? I'll just save the photo. Oh, I can't.
Just
I'll send it to you and you can edit it.
Edit it.
Yeah, we'll do that with that. Okay,
That's for TikTok.
football and
Edit.
money. Ben sending the
Edit.
picture, that's what we need to remember. Me, I need to do that. But no, football and money, let's go back to that because yes, football is a lot about money now. But at the same time, if you worked in a shop, let's say we all worked in a shop, you got this job offer from one shop that's going to pay you get £100 a week. Or you got this, but that shop is a local shop that you've been going in for years, you're loyal to it. Or you're going to go to the shop that gives you £500 a week. Instead, which one are you going to choose to work at? I know it's a different kind of money because you're not earning stupid money.
I think it depends on what situation you're in. If
And
it's
how
just
much
you.
you're working.
Yeah,
The same. It's exactly the same. Because
So-
football, you don't
so
If
work.
I
let's
had to
say 40
support
hours
a
a week.
family or something, I'll take the 500 just for beneficial for my actual. It's not just for my financial gain; it's for support.
Yeah, but at the point you're talking in professional football, where you're talking, the average Premier League wage is probably north of 20k.
Yeah, well, you're talking around 50-ish. It's going to be like
I
I
actually
think
imagine it's probably around 30. I'm
depending on
I'm
who-
not
depends who it is, though,
looking
isn't
at
it?
it
I
right
suppose,
now.
yeah.
Okay,
If Craig, you want to maybe look at it.
one
Google
second.
it.
I will do 2 seconds. I've got another one. Oscar, the old Chelsea player, Brazilian, went to China, didn't he? You went there, did that. He
Yeah.
even admits outright that he went there for the money. That I respect that quite a lot.
I mean, when you're tripling your wage, yes.
But think about it. He can now not only support himself and his like close family.
Yeah, it's
he can
generational
maybe
wealth,
support.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just. So I think at the end of the day, you have to be a bit selfish and take the money sometimes. But then it comes in your love of football, where does your love of football take
Yeah.
over earning stupid amounts
Yeah.
or?
It depends, because my point was gonna be, if when we're talking like 20k a week, you after tax, that's probably 8 to 12k a week.
Did you want
Am I
average Premier League?
wage?
Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm not gonna personally like shine away from 8 to 12k, and if it's a team and a fan base that I'm particularly in love with,
oh yeah, you do it for
like I'm not particularly bothered by Spurs, for example. So if I'm playing League One football and I'm getting paid 12k a week, and then I get picked up, Spurs wants to buy me. My agent tells me they offered you 80 grand a week.
1 minute. How much did you say for League One?
12
grand a week.
Yeah.
On here, this is the website onaverage.co.uk. I don't know if it hasn't got any references or anything really, so we don't know how it is. This is just the first website. I found.
Will be marked down in
no
our
official
essays.
references. Is it
But-
Harvard reference in all?
No, it's Sanford, darling.
Okay, so it says the average salary in League One is between 1,700 and 2,500 a week, which is that's still good money to be playing. I'll take that to play in that league, and then
Does it say Prem?
the Premier League is about 50,000. I'll find more. I'll find a bit more average websites. Let me go. I'll have a look through whilst we have this.
I was thinking
Does it
like
say
50
championship then?
Yeah, 1 minute. I'll go back on it. This is just this website. Like I said, there's no references or anything. They've the top players in the championships. This would probably be like
I
your
know there's
when
like.
Fulham was Mitrovic was probably from
Like,
like them
yeah,
sort of
Mitrovic.
I
players.
think
Like
I don't know how accurate the Football Manager wage
Structure is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Mitrovic was on like 70 to 90k a week.
this says 7,500. And I'll let me find more websites. I'll go a bit more around, a bit more.
Because I can get behind like the average wage of the championship being about 10k a week.
Yeah, if we're looking at Prem's that average about 50, I would say between 10 and 20.
And if
average.
we say League One is about 17 to 4.
Obviously 10 being the lower end of,
Yeah.
and then 20 being the higher end of what. I think when it comes to wages, it all depends on what they're bringing to the team. Obviously their agents and everything have to do with it, but I think obviously wages are offered about the potential to the team and like effort. Like you're gonna look at like players. I know obviously City, a lot of people will say that we're built on money, and it is true. If it weren't for the financial aid we've had, this would have been so much different. Like,
I think
it gave us the boost, but now it's not just a club now. It's like you said earlier. It's not just a club. It's a business.
You have
we got
in India, Australia,
so
America.
We got New York City. We got is it Sydney? No, Melbourne FC. Melbourne FC.
Melbourne City. You have is it Mumbai?
Mumbai. We have Mumbai FC.
I'm trying to think. You have one in France, a League 2 team in France. This is really testing. Do you have one in Switzerland yet?
What's that? Sorry.
I'm trying to think of all the city-owned groups.
Okay, so we've got obviously Manchester City. You've got New York City, Melbourne. You've got Yokohama F and Marinos.
So Japanese.
You've got Montevideo City Tour.
I'll have a look, see what that is.
That sounds is that Mexican? Or Italian?
Oh, Girona as well.
Uruguay.
Yeah, you have one in Brazil, I believe.
Well, it will be mostly like the countries.
Limau SK.
Yeah.
Troyes, which is the French one.
Yeah.
Club Bolivar.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, have a look at that, because my fucking speech
Club
accent.
Bolivar.
It doesn't help having a speech
That's
looking at these foreign words.
Can you believe? I didn't know this till just now. De Bruyne is the second highest paid.
Of course he is. Look what he
Yeah,
is.
he's on like 350k.
More.
400.
400.
The only other person above him is Ronaldo.
Who's 115k above him? I know it's Ronaldo, I know it's that. But 115k like difference.
You
between
think
the top
about what
and the
Kevin De
second.
Bruyne brings to the team.
So
though. It's ridiculous.
You
He's
have
an
to think,
all-round player.
when Messi was at Barcelona, we're going to go into financials of Barcelona here, because it's a knock-on effect. Obviously,
It's a popular subject.
they were always, even before the pandemic, they were pretty close to break even. They might make 2-3 mil a season or lose 2-3 mil a season. They were never really structured that well. So I think over in England, we started getting sponsorship deals on shirts in the 80s. They were becoming more and more in the 80s. And then Barcelona didn't catch on to this. Bear in mind, there were other clubs in Spain who were having sponsors. When you think Zidane, you think Galacticos, you have Siemens on the chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, David Beckham in that Real Madrid kit was unreal.
That's what I'm saying. Barcelona till the early 2000s did not have a sponsor. And even then, you think of Barcelona sponsors, it's UNICEF. That's the sponsor that stands out.
Yeah.
Same as West Ham and Doc Martens. Do you remember when it was Doc Martens? I would go with Doc Martens.
Oh no, I'm thinking Villa with the mother logo.
Arsenal and their O2 kit.
O2
O2 Ashley Cole.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That kit was gorgeous
But
as well.
This is my point.
That was a
Sponsors
classic,
have helped create some beautiful kits. However, Barca didn't have it, and this ties into the financial side of it.
Can I cut you off quickly?
Okay.
Man United Chevrolet. I'm sorry.
I can't. The last good-looking kit till this season for United. Well, last season with the retro throwback, the away home.
Blue and yellow.
Last season it was the like blue and white throwback to like the 90s.
Oh, I don't know Man United kits like that.
Before that it was like, remember Rooney when he scored the bicy, and he had the collar, the Aeon. That was the last memorable shirt.
The AOL one.
Aeon.
Is it Aeon?
Yeah, Chilton.
Really? I thought it was this time. I thought it was the AOL, the email
it's
address thing.
Aeon.
The 2012-2013 was my favourite for City. It was like the one that was blue, had the
This
black
season's
collar.
very nice.
I do like that. It had the black collar and then it had like the black version of the City, the old logo with the bird. And obviously, I really like that one. I like the contrast, the blue and the black. That was my favourite one.
I'm thinking.
Personally, I love a football shirt with a collar. I think it looks. I think
Oh,
that looks smart.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying
Yes.
about this
United
season's
one, not my
United
one.
shirt.
Yeah,
Even the red one, the accents
got
on the
the-
collar.
yeah.
Oh,
Are they
I-
Adidas as
yeah,
well?
they are still
Yeah.
Adidas.
Adidas.
I was walking through the Arndale Saturday.
Yeah.
It was, and there was a kid with his collar up. Fresh United shirt. I'm like,
Collar up.
you son have fucking taste.
Oh, I don't know about the collar up on a football
no.
shirt.
Collar up. I'm just like,
No.
Cantona.
Who?
Oh,
Oh,
That's my.
Oh.
Wait.
overrated.
That was going to be my question.
how is
That was a
Cantona?
Wait. That was going to be what I was going to say. Who's the first player that comes to mind? Collar up. It was Cantona for me.
Then
That
I
was
think-
literally going to be.
Bergkamp.
It's almost like a Batman.
I can't remember if he had the collar up, but collared shirt. It's Cantona Bergkamp, and it might be the fucking Mandela effect here, but it is Bergkamp for some strange reason.
I don't
I
even
think
know.
maybe it's just related eras, but it is Cantona obviously just collar up. Fucking.
Drop kicking a man in the stands. Yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah, but that was to counter racism. He was giving it the big fuck you Frenchman.
And they gave him his studs. It's perfect.
Bit mad though.
You think, right, Cantona came in, he improved the team, he was a leader, he did what he did.
Had it done it. Bro, now he's doing adverts and the betting adverts. And what adverts are there?
You know what was really
Really
awesome? Him doing the was it Liam or Noel Gallagher music video?
Probably Liam.
And what was even better was
I think it was the Noel.
We need the stats, man.
what was even better was Cantona came in when whichever Gallagher brother it was.
Liam Gallagher.
So,
Liam Gallagher once. Official video featuring Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
just got him as a crown, just as the Burger King man.
No, it's the King of Manchester.
I know, I'm joking. It just looked like. Do you remember the Burger King adverts where like that's what it is.
So Liam turned to Cantona, was like, do you want a hotel? Do you need picking up from the hotel? And he's like, don't worry, I'll organise it. So he organised his own car from the airport to the hotel that he organised himself. He organised all his food, all his everything for that music shoot. He flies in from France for it. And literally, he didn't get paid. He didn't even ask to be paid. He just went, yeah, all right, I'll do that.
What a guy. What a guy. Alright. Right. Adidas. Are they or are they not making the best kits at the minute?
I am wearing,
Bro.
in my opinion, best Bundesliga kit last season.
Excuse me, it's all about Umbro. Sick.
Thank
That was obviously a joke.
Adidas. I like.
Umbro's
Wait.
rugby kit.
Umbro's like retro.
I've got Umbro socks on.
Oh, what are you laughing
Don't
at
say
then?
the
Now,
Umbro.
Umbro's England kit looks good. For the
Yeah, no,
rugby union.
That's the
this is.
first thing I think of when I think of Umbro as a kit. The England kits is
Yeah.
Seeing Scott Parker, you know the red, collared England shirt. Oh,
bartender.
that.
Oh god.
Yes, please, sir. In my opinion, you know the 2010 South Africa World Cup.
Oh,
no,
that
Of course it
England-
is Shakira, mate.
Shakira, oh, wagga wagga, hey.
Waving flag as well.
I still listen to
No,
that song, I'll tell
I'm
you what.
thinking. Oh yeah, it comes on in the
Yeah,
like
I
Gobble
listen to
all
it
the time.
Yeah.
They got stats
Gosh,
in the edit. But no, I'm thinking that England shirt for that year.
I need to. Which one's
It
that
was.
one?
It
The
was like
2010 World Cup. I need
yeah,
to get a
2010
refresher
World
on
Cup
it.
because so the way it is, I remember so
I can picture in my head you're on about Scott Parker in there.
Yeah, I know.
the red,
Yeah,
the
I
red
can picture
collared
it,
and
yeah.
the red cuff shirt. That is my favourite England shirt.
What's your opinion on long sleeve football shirts?
I would wear long
Some-
sleeve football shirts every time.
I
Long
was,
sleeve
I
tucked into
was
the shorts.
thinking of getting one this year. One of the United long sleeves.
That
I've
is
seen
my,
Ronaldo.
that kit there is what I think.
Look,
I
I had one of these.
Same.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
yeah.
don't like that.
I'll edit
This-
in another picture. Here,
This
Craig,
was
edit.
like this is when you were young and your parents would be like, "Oh, England's on, let's get a football shirt." Boom, you've got this football shirt
But-
here. You're like, "Of course you have."
Honestly, so obviously, every time we mention a visual, I'm gonna have to edit in for the podcast.
You mean? Oh, no, I
Because
don't.
the shirt I'm wearing now is the Adidas kit for Union Berlin. Who, can I just point out, if you want a really good team and you outside of England at the moment, Union Berlin's probably your team. They got promoted 2 seasons ago, first season Bundesliga. They got Europa Conference League.
Good on them.
This season we're now in the Europa League. Yes, that one. No, the white one, the white one.
The white one, literally, all the only person I
I
remember that
like
is Beckham and Rooney. They're the only two
Rooney,
who stand out.
yes.
Rooney and that
And then
kid
that
look amazing.
dark blue
Really
one.
like Rooney in that kit, did
That
you?
dark blue
Loved
one
it.
reminds me of Gerrard.
Yes.
Oh,
Gerrard.
yeah, actually.
When that celebration, yeah, he's
That-
running around like a nutter.
But Union Berlin have some of the best away kits and best third kits I can.
I really like the one you're wearing. To be honest.
Yeah.
I like the colour of it. Yeah.
So
It's pretty subtle as well.
somewhere I have their home kit for the year before, and I was like, this is pretty generic home kit. It's red. It's alright, but then the away kits. I think Adidas does a pretty generic template on home kits. Then away and third kits are where they absolutely
I agree.
go for it.
I always think that away kits sometimes look better than the actual home kit.
That's because they have more freedom.
United
With
this
City,
season.
it's kind of hard. It's just got to be blue.
They have a bit
And
more
then they work
freedom.
obviously with the maroon on them sometimes.
Oh,
but away
as a
kits,
United fan,
Oh.
I'm gonna be controversial.
I would
like
get
it.
that white one.
I
As a
will
United fan,
not
I'd
say
go for the white
this
one.
in Manchester, but I do like that City shirt.
Look, the blue
I
one.
like the maroon
I-
notes on it. I think it looks nice.
Here's the thing. Obviously, you're a City fan.
Yeah.
And I'm dating a City fan. I would probably end
Oh,
up.
are you two are dating?
Hey!
Sorry, I'm
There
sorry.
have been many rumours, and I just yeah.
You heard it here. We're out.
I'm gonna probably end up this year buying a City shirt for either my girlfriend or for you.
Lads, he's a one podcast in and he's ready buying a City shirt as a man. What is going on? One podcast in.
Glaze
So,
us out, glaze us out.
on the
That's what I'm
next
saying.
podcast, Ben will be singing Blue Moon exclusive.
See, I can't even drink the fucking Blue Moon Belgian lager.
Yeah, it's horrible. The orange, I can't.
You
stand
know what? I was in Printworks the other day and I went to the German beer bar thing
It. Yeah.
there and I tried a lovely white ale, Belgian white ale.
Is this the one you were telling me about?
The strawberry
The
one.
strawberry
It
one.
looks like a strawberry daiquiri and it's strawberry beer and it's like, oh, that doesn't quite taste like cider and it doesn't taste like lager, but it's drinkable. You can have 2 or 3 easily.
Oh,
I was sipping on it whilst I was watching the F1 and it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
beautiful.
Honestly.
Beautiful.
One sec. Next topic. No, not next
Oh,
topic.
Jesus
next
Christ,
topic.
cut this off.
Wait,
I didn't even get to my...
He hasn't even
I
finished. He hasn't got to
didn't
the
even
point.
fucking finish the Adidas thing. I keep getting distracted.
Right, go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Adidas are really making... They are the best sports brand right now.
What about Nike?
Name...
I think they're very touch and go.
Maybe it's because my teams aren't getting kits by Nike. But I can't think of a good Nike kit. Even
Oh,
the England
no, I
kits
agree.
right now, I can't think of a good Nike kit.
I preferred Liverpool kits when they were New Balance and not Nike.
New Balance.
Yes.
I like the
New
Liverpool
Balance.
kits. Remember the red, white, and then it had the turquoise Like,
Yeah.
was nice.
The New Balance was so much better, but obviously Nike's where the money's at. Like, you're going to get more
it's
sponsorships.
a big
But
brand, yeah.
Adidas, they stick to basics with their home kits. They stick to the what everyone knows their team does, like the Man United red, the Arsenal red with the collar. And then they have a bit more freedom with the away kits. They throw in a random colour, and then the third kit.
Actually, I take that back. The Spurs, I think it was either their third kit or their training kit last season.
You know about the blue one or the black one?
The one that looked just like the best way I can describe it is an electric storm.
I'd still burn it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What do you mean? I thought you were a Spurs fan.
No, see,
sports.
as
Pure.
Yeah.
Pull it out.
The
That
city
is nice
top
though.
this
It
year
reminds
is
me
worse.
of, do you know the Chewits? The extreme sour Chewits? That's what the green ones, the big ones, they're really nice as well, but that's what it
No.
reminds me of. It's a good
What?
one.
What's everyone's predictions?
I was
for the
just
Premier
about to
League?
say, should we get onto our predictions and see what goes? Right, Ben's done a few notes on what he wants to say. So let Ben,
I've done
How
two
do you
A5
want to do
pages.
this? Do you want to do your top 4 for Champions League,
No.
Europa League, and then relegation?
We just do the whole- no, we do
I'm,
the whole lot. I'll write
I'm
down the names and
going.
go.
I think we go from 20th to 1st.
Are we all naming at the same time, or do you
I
want
think
We do 20th and then we go.
so
round.
20 each, and then go up 19, same
Yeah.
right? Okay.
How
And
do you write
maybe
that?
a little reason why you think that.
Can you write it on pen and paper? Because it just saves me doing it on here.
I mean, if you go on Sheets, it'd be probably easier.
website?
Yeah, Google Sheets.
Google Sheets.
So you've got the Google Docs
Yeah.
document there, yeah?
Online spreadsheet. I don't know how this works.
So if you just like one column is like Ben, Jack. If you go from the top,
Put our
leave the
names.
first top column blank, then next 3 columns is our names, and then 20th to or 1st to 20th.
Ben,
You know how it's gonna look, Jack, because
Jack.
It
I'm
doesn't matter.
shit
If,
at
no, leave that one
explaining.
blank because that'll be like the position.
Oh yeah, shit. I don't know how to do spreadsheets. Sorry guys.
So
I
just
just
put our names.
Jack, Ben, Craig, and then.
Craig Davis.
How do I do numbers? How do
so
I do-
if you do that first descending column,
yeah,
you
how
do
I-
1st to 20th.
Right, I'm getting an Excel spreadsheet thing lesson here as well.
There we go.
I'll
Right,
come
you do it.
across
You do it. You do the
So you-
beginning. I'll be able to write.
So
it.
if you look across there, that's where you want our names. But if you're doing numbers there, and you just type first.
Just all of them.
Yeah, first.
Should I go
20?
2019? Because then we started 20. Oh no, no.
It doesn't matter. Like whatever way it'll be easier for you. Because I'm gonna pop to the loo whilst you do this. Because
Yeah,
I
that's
have
fine.
a weak bladder.
Jack's gonna sing
I've
to
had
you
a
all.
few.
I've heard he's gonna sing.
No,
Um,
what is it? The erotica you say to these battering girls.
Go on, he's gonna give you a bit of his game that he has on
So,
Valorant. We'll let him do that for 5
obviously
minutes.
you guys won't know this, but we all met each other because we do esports, an esports course. So Jack is into his live streaming. What is it? You play mainly Valorant.
Valorant and my getting simped on a day-to-day
Yeah,
basis.
yeah. He's when he comes in close
Because
to
I'll,
the mic.
I'll do a thing where I'll come in and talk like this, and hopefully it sounds pretty enough to be simped on.
You know the Old Spice adverts.
Right.
Look at your man now. Look
That's
at me.
himself. Oh, no, I'm just pulling out a wedgie. Don't ignore this. First podcast run, guys, but I'm just a little guest, and the little guest is gonna speak to you all right now.
Hello, mate. Hello.
But no, we're learning. This is all new for us. I think
Yeah, this is
we're
the
doing
first
quite well.
podcast
Like,
we've
I
done.
think we've never done this before. We've literally sat down for a couple of hours today, got some ideas about and smashing it out. I'm just trying to fill the void whilst we wait for Ben quickly, and we'll
It's
get straight
different
onto these
'cause
teams.
I normally like live stream, so everything that we talk about is either there in front of you, like in terms of gaming, and if there are people to talk to in your chat, you can talk about that. But
The interaction's easier,
it's
isn't it? Like when you're
it's
there, the
easier interaction. But when it comes to podcasts, you gotta talk about. You kind of gotta know what you're
It's
talking
the void that you have to fill here and
Yeah.
there. It's a bit weird, but we'll get there. We'll get better. I
about.
think
This
we're doing
is
quite
what's
well.
happening right now.
Right.
We're filling voids.
Are we starting from number 20?
That's what
Yeah.
she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you get the table up for us? Because I can't remember. I need to see. Actually, I can do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier for you or Jack to
Well,
get
I'll
it
do
on
that.
your phone.
No, I can do this. I've got it.
Because I have all of my
You get on your phone, Jack. We'll go from there as well. Okay.
I have all of my predictions here.
Wow, he's
already got.
He's
Me and Jack are going from off the top of our head. By the
Well, we
way,
I am
mentioned
going
it
off the
in
top of my
our
head.
in our pre-podcast meeting.
And I thought, go off the top of my head. Are we explaining why we think everyone's going to be in the position?
I can explain this.
I'll easily be able to explain relegation and promotion, or not promotion, top 5, 6.
Relegation's going to be the hardest because I don't think it's going to be the hardest position to fill.
I think relegation
I'm
was
looking
elite.
at probably. To be fair, I could even see maybe Leicester. If Leicester get unlucky with injuries, I could even see them going down.
Right.
So right now I'm looking. If you are not in the top 6, top 7, I can see you getting relegated.
This is going to be a close one. I think it's going to be.
But it will be unless you're City, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Arsenal.
No.
I think Arsenal's
City,
more than
Chelsea,
building.
Right,
Liverpool,
let's
you're
stop
going
this. Let's
for.
have this conversation after. Let's go with the.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
go. Right. Ben, who you got in 20? Because you've got it there already.
Leeds.
Leeds.
You think they just sold their main DM?
Phillips, yeah.
Leeds.
Calvin
True.
Phillips just left. So I'm thinking, right, it is very close because the other teams I have, like I said, if you're not in the top 6, top 7, you could get relegated.
Oh, 100%. I can see that one.
Right, Jack. Who do you think? Do you need to look at the?
No, I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest. Pure inexperience
In
alone.
20th.
I can see it.
Remember, they just got Union Berlin striker in,
Yeah.
who bagged 15 goals
But
last
it's like
year.
we've discussed before. It's
15,
Premier League's a
20
different
goals.
breed, and
But he was also playing in Europe. And not only that, you have Dean Henderson.
We have a little bit of a bias here because the first game happened literally at the weekend, so everyone's played. So you have a little bit of insight to the season. So
I'm
just
just
letting everyone know that now.
I'm just going off
But it's the Premier League.
I'm just going off inexperience alone. The only team to have ever capitalised off inexperience and come in is Leicester when they won.
Leicester.
Not Brentford
Like
last
Brentford,
season.
yeah,
I'm worried about
Brentford
last
fucking
season.
smashed
Okay.
it.
Yeah, but they didn't end up like high like Leicester. They just come in and win it, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
So,
but that
no,
was one of the
but
best.
that
That was
the. I know
the
that
Leicester winning the league was an anomaly in football. That even if you
100%.
like,
That's
everyone
why-
loved the fact that happened.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that was one of my favourite seasons ever for the
They had
simple fact of that.
Kante, they had Mahrez, they were using Moneyball
Yeah,
tactics like
but at this
Brentford are.
time, Kante, Mahrez, and that weren't anyone. They were only people because they won the league without.
But that's
without
what
that.
Moneyball scouting
That's
does.
Morgan in centre back. Like,
Where's Morgan?
what a player he was that season.
I think
And
we drink for
Maguire.
that. Our captain.
Well,
At
we'll
the time.
cha-ching to this. Good.
Who would you
Where's
think it's-
Morgan? Big
Where's
guy.
Morgan?
Oh, fuck.
Right.
Even Captain Morgan did a special bottle with Wes Morgan on when they won.
I'm gonna go Southampton.
Oh, big shout.
And
even
that is a bias from what I saw this weekend. I
Even
wouldn't
the
have done it
mighty
if it
Prowls.
wasn't for that.
It's Southampton, so you think last 2 seasons they've had 8-1 losses.
They can't go nowhere.
Eight-
Where else are
well,
Liverpool
what,
going to
what,
get
they,
players
they got annihilated last 2 seasons in 8.
from? They survived,
eight-
mate.
Yeah, exactly. They lose 8. They concede 8+ goals in a match, but then the rest of the games they seem okay. So
Southampton
it
survived
is
it, I can't see that.
50-50.
From what I've seen so far, I'm gonna do it. That's a bit of a
Who are their
weird one.
strikers?
Then again, though, if you're going off what you've seen
you
so
think
far, you can say West Ham
Southampton-
could go.
No. The West Ham are not going. No chance. Because
You could say.
They brought in Scamacca, who
You-
United should have got. He's 6'5", Italian, Cantona-esque.
Yeah, if you
He has that vibe around him where he's like, sup?
But it's the same with, like, you can say this about Liverpool. The way what you've seen so far this season, they could be mid-table if you're going off what you've seen.
No, because I'm going off.
Come on.
No,
If we're talking about
Nottingham Forest in 20th is a fair shout because when they played Union Berlin have only spent 2 seasons in the top flight. They lost against Union Berlin.
I am throwing it out there. My 19th is still going to be Fulham.
Fulham.
Right.
Do you know, I can.
I'm doing
I can
that.
see
I
what you mean,
feel-
but I feel like I'm gonna survive
So
this season.
they just got
Mitrovic won't be there in January.
they got who was it from United? Andreas Pereira,
Pereira,
who is known as the pre-season version. I feel Fulham's a tough one. If everything fires on all cylinders, they survive. If Mitrovic fires on all cylinders and stays there all season, heck, if he goes late January and they have a decent start of the season, they can probably, they can probably survive just off late January games.
It's easy to do it in the beginning. Not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. That was
I
really wrong.
I think it's easier closing a season out than starting.
See, but you go in with the confidence of, right, we're here, we've earned the right to be here, let's do all we can. Liverpool is their first game, big game of the season. Their confidence can be sky high, yes. But ability-wise, how long can confidence keep up over ability? Can you keep this up week in, week out like you played against Liverpool? I'm putting them there. What do you want in 90? Because we're going to sit here for every position for 20 minutes.
Everton.
Otherwise. To be fair, they have Dele Alli.
No, Everton. I'm not saying.
Sorry, Dele.
I just picked Everton 18 because I think it's realistic that they are going down.
18. We're at 19. Do you mean 19?
19th, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you might have
I
skipped.
don't think Lampard will let it happen.
I do.
That's the issue.
I don't think. I
Drink.
think Lampard's actually an okay analyst for Match of the Day or something like that. But as a manager, he might be an okay coach as well. Obviously, I'm never gonna have the chance realistically to have that pleasure of working as a
Like, having a conversation
player
with him about
under
it at least.
No, I might work with him one day. Who knows what the future could lead to.
True,
But-
true.
Realistically, I'm never gonna be coached by Lampard. But as a manager, what he there's memes about him going, yes, we had a good game, but yeah, I think we're fucked, or something like that, or basically words to that extent. I don't think he's the manager to save Everton, and I don't think he will be. He might plateau Championship, mid-table to League.
Do you think
he went straight in to a Premier League team to try and manage? He should have just went League One.
It's like Rooney, isn't it, when it comes to like...
Nah, because Rooney was
Rooney's
a banging. Rooney.
No, I'm on about in
is-
terms of Rooney didn't start in like a Premier League. He started lower, so he can work on his.
Rooney
like,
is different gravy. What he did at Derby.
that's what I'm saying.
That
That's-
was
What he did as a manager, but not only manager, he paid wages out of
This-
his
this is
own
what I'm
pocket.
saying, like-
I don't think, if we include that, he did not get paid for that Derby jersey.
And
He's out of pocket for doing that Derby job.
Derby lost points that season as well. and
I
he's
wasn't comparing it as and saying Wayne Rooney done bad. I'm on about obviously he went to Derby and he did what he did.
He did the right thing.
He did the right
proved
thing.
himself.
Whereas, but it's like you said about not going in the Premier League. He went in as a lower league club.
But do you not think
into a lower league club? Sorry.
Lampard gets so Lampard gets this role as manager at Everton for example. Who was it before that?
Chelsea.
Shit, yeah, it was. Okay, he got that through being loyal to Chelsea.
Yeah.
The
Being
status where he is,
Chelsea.
and he was a banging player. Lampard was a good player. None of us could say it. The Lampard-Gerrard argument, no one can even compare because they're both. But yeah, he got that because of the status and everything. But realistically, Lampard was at his best when he had no job between the Chelsea job and the Everton job. When he was a pundit and doing all of that, and he had the questions, he was honest. That was my favourite Lampard.
I have to
I've
agree
seen.
with Ben. He is a very analytical thinker, and he can. Obviously that does come from him being a player as well. He
The
had
last
to be like that.
30,
And it
40
Especially within his role
years.
as well.
Yeah,
that he
100%.
played.
Yeah, the last 30, 40 years, he's a top 5 English midfielder in the last 30, 40 years, and he is a very good pundit.
Who, if you're talking about midfielders, who's your favourite mid? We're talking. This is the big three. We're gonna
So
go.
it's like
Okay, excuse me. Big
Yeah, I
three.
can't-
We're going Lampard,
Okay.
Scholes, Gerrard.
Are we
Yeah.
going English?
Yeah.
English, Lampard, Scholes, or
English.
Gerrard.
Yeah.
This is the debate that everyone fights
Ooh.
over.
what would you class Rooney as?
He was. Do you know what?
So
Rooney
he came
said
in as a
himself.
midfielder, but
He was like a cam, wasn't he? He was like a cam, but then he said he played his best at a striker, but he hated it. He did not like playing a striker.
That's what you remember Rooney for, being a striker, whereas the other three.
He didn't like being a striker.
That's where he was.
It was his best.
He personally, Rooney is a different kettle of fish. He
was phenomenal. At his best.
I don't want to seem biased because I'm.
No, it's not. Rooney's Rooney.
No, because I've been seeing stuff on Twitter where it's Rooney is being compared to Salah and being called underrated, and Salah is better than Rooney. I keep seeing this clip every few months. It goes round of him at DC United. You know the clip.
I was talking about this earlier as well. Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I said this to you earlier.
Yeah. That clip of him sprinting back,
Bodying a player as well.
Boom!
That is
Get
dedication
in
to the
there.
craft. That is.
Just slide tackling,
Get straight.
beautiful. If you're a midfielder, a defender, look at that clip on how to slide tackle. Because it is beautiful. That is how you
It's
say.
the fact he gets straight back up and then goes and does what he does as well.
And then he just goes, "Sup, bitch," gets the ball, dinks it in, goal. They win the match.
It's a different
It's in the
mentality
playoffs.
nowadays for football. You wouldn't see Salah do it. You would obviously Salah will backtrack, but he won't put his body and soul on the line.
Salah's out and out forward.
Oh yeah,
But
100%
Rooney at this point is a CDM. So Rooney
was like that when he was a striker, though. To be honest,
I am gonna go for a win. Everyone talks best English players of all time. Yeah, they talk Gerrard. For some reason, Gerrard's in this discussion. I don't think he should be.
I think up there, if you're talking about basic Shearer, he was phenomenal.
I'm
especially for
thinking
Newcastle.
I think because the lack of trophies we won since '66, everyone talks about that '66 squad in such high standards.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, even after that, I'm thinking Peter Shilton maybe has an argument for one of the better goalkeepers, but Oldham,
You got to think about the Charlton.
Yeah,
Right.
Bobby and Jack.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bobby Charlton is discussed as that.
He's a United legend as well, isn't he?
Yeah. But I think Rooney should be discussed in the top 2, top 3. Alongside Charlton or Jeff Hurst.
As a City fan, I would openly admit that Wayne Rooney was a different, like you said, different breed. He was something.
Right now, who can you think who was better than Rooney in the Premier League era?
In terms of position,
Yeah, they got
everything.
This is gonna sound thingy, but I would easily put. I know this is obviously a topic people will agree. De Bruyne, in terms of the Premier League, if you're talking the Premier League now, he is on a different level from 99.
Are we saying playing now then?
Or are you talking about as
So I'm talking. So you think Rooney's played in the Premier League as a striker, as a winger, as a cam, as a CM, and as a CDM, and he was pretty decent at everything, like top 90.
I would say De Bruyne
maybe
is an all-rounder player as well.
Stats
He can
wise,
score. He can pretty much do most things.
No, he doesn't have the same physicality as Rooney has, though. He doesn't
I
have that
get
one,
where
though.
you're coming at as an individual position.
De Bruyne is fucking great, by the way.
I think if
we're not doing that because he is a banging player.
If they were to be in their prime playing at the same time, I think it will be such a tough one.
No, because
they both bring
there
this.
are players that come to mind, so like Shearer.
Oh, Shearer
as a
was a phenomenal goal
striker.
scorer.
Shearer as a striker is better than Rooney.
No.
But if you think of
Hear me out.
Rooney's work rate.
So Rooney as a player is better than Shearer.
Okay, yeah.
Shearer as a striker compared to Rooney as a striker, Shearer's better.
Yeah, Rooney all round. Yeah.
Heck, Andy Cole.
You forget though, Rooney
better.
didn't play in a striker for ages.
Exactly. So, at individual positions, Rooney then becomes individual positions, top 5, top 10 Premier League.
Yeah,
all-time
okay,
players.
yeah, I get that.
As a complete package, I'm going to go on a limb and say there has not been a better Premier League player than Rooney, because he's played in 5 to 6 play.
We're not sitting here talking like football like this all the time, by the way, before he makes accusations. It's like, we're not, we love football to pieces, but we're not people that you want to be analysing football and stuff. So before we do anything that offends anyone,
if we trigger anyone, we're sorry. But
we could be wrong. This is us
It's-
talking as our opinions, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what it should be. And if you get offended, okay, cool. What's your
Tell us.
Yeah, what's your counter argument to this? And as long as you aren't like Jake Paul and you just spit out shit, I'll take your argument on board, and I will personally go, yeah, all right, you have a fair point there. You've countered that with logic.
It's a tough one.
But
I think
like I just mentioned, in individual positions, Rooney is a top 5, top 10 player of all time in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
In the Prem. Yeah.
There are too many players outside of England that you can argue.
I think another thing we could look at as well is the
as a
development of the
complete
game.
package, I cannot see another player.
I agree. I don't think. Okay,
If you were to put them all in playing at the same time, because the game's developed so much now.
Yeah.
If you think about football back in the day, it was so direct. It was like a kick, go. Whereas football now is everything now is pass.
Till about the 90s.
It's all technical now.
Do you know what?
In comparison to about what it was.
This is why women's football is so good. Sorry to get on this. We will get back to the fucking league table.
We're doing
We've not even made it through
right.
2 teams each who've done it. But women's football, okay, it's not like I prefer men's football personally. That's because that's what I've watched my whole life. It's nothing against women's.
I watched the Euro finals in where was I? Walkabout in Primpworth.
Oh shit! Okay.
And so you think it's packed out. You can barely sit down. Like there's like an empty chair here or there, but there's groups. You know.
Yeah.
There's this one, you know what the Manc accent sounds like, fucking annoying when it
goes.
Yeah.
Their opinion, not mine. No one from Manchester come for me.
I mean, my godmother is from Manchester, about Cheshire way, and I'm dating a man.
Little Manc.
A little mank.
I mean, yeah.
Not a minx, a mank.
It's a different kettle.
But this voice pops up just off to the side of me and goes, "Fuck Ronaldo! I'd rather have I can't remember. It was Tooney or whoever scored.
Tony.
Yeah.
Bradford.
No, the female.
Oh
Tooney.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Tooney. He shouts that, and everyone in the bar, like, bear in mind there's about 100 people in this bar. They all pretty much laugh. I'm like, okay, 4 years ago this wouldn't happen. This is surreal.
I told you, mate.
Like,
national pride.
When we scored, it was like, way! Like, I was so sad at how speechless. I could not think of anything. But you think, if this wasn't for the pandemic, and if this wasn't for, so it got pushed back a year because we had the Euros last year, the men's Euros last year in England, and then this year. Tell me, if the World Cup was not in the winter, would it have been the same reaction?
Thank you. No, that's been my thingy, and I'm so glad it is in the winter now. As much as it's not going to be good for the World Cup, I want them both to be as popular.
I didn't think about this till I was in the taxi after we won it to the hotel, and I was like, would this response on Twitter, in the streets, I walked through Piccadilly Gardens and it was rammed in. It, like, you could not get into the main gardens.
It was like the Euros when we made it to the final against Italy.
It wasn't
the men's
quite
football.
the same, obviously, but I can see where women's football. I was back home. There was the young girls in the house to the left of me. They were like playing football. How I remember us playing football as young lads. And I was like, I'm not even going to talk to them. I'm just going to let them enjoy it because they brought it to my house. And that, when England fans say it's coming home and everyone else in the world makes fun of us, we're not talking, are we, about, oh, we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it.
Yeah.
No, it'd be nice, but realistically, we're going out at the quarters. We're expecting that. Maybe round of 16. But but what we think of is we're all in the pub with our mates. We're drinking, we're having fun, we're talking. That's what it's coming home means.
The
To me.
unity. The unity of England. No matter what, it brings England together.
Phil
no matter what.
Foden last year got his hair done like Gaza. I went, if we won, I'm doing that. We didn't win. I still did.
It's like it's
few
coming
months
home.
later,
You push aside all club rivalries when it comes to international.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. This is what I was saying earlier. National pride. You're proud to be English, or you're proud to be whatever country you're from. You put aside. I mean, you like what we just said. People were supporting like Phil Foden, Harry Maguire, Jack Grealish. They're all different clubs, but you don't give a damn about that.
You
They're
finally
playing for your club, your international.
Yeah,
Jack
you finally
Grealish.
get to support the players that you hate your team playing against, and you get to support them in a positive way rather than being like, oh, say if it was Man City Arsenal, I'd be there annoyed at Phil Foden because he's so good. Yes, I get to watch
We'd
him,
be
but
like,
I
taunting each other.
I don't get to enjoy it because he's against my team, sort of thing. And
obviously,
that is...
we going back to the women's side of things. We played Germany last year.
What rivalry from that as well?
Last year in the Euros, I was sat in a gazebo back home watching that game, and I was like, if there's a game Harry Kane, this is before he even scored an actual goal. I went, this is the game. He turns up, he's going to score at least a goal. And he scored the winner, I think.
You know about the one we beat on?
Beat
The
them
last
2-1, 3-1.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember this.
I
remember the clip.
we just got out of lockdown again. I'm kissing random 40-year-old men. I'm hugging they're kissing me more than anything, but...
I changed that really quick.
I was on FaceTime to my German friend. This is my point. He started this. He messaged me that week, and he messaged me in the final this year, and he initiates it. He initiates that rivalry again. Like, oh, we're gonna fucking smash you. This and that.
This is history.
So this year I didn't FaceTime him, but this year I just found, you really think you're going to beat this England side at Wembley? Really? You sure, pal? Because last year we smashed you as the men's team, and arguably you had a better men's team. I think Hans Flick is their men's manager this year.
Yeah.
So that was Lowe's last year.
Can I quickly save my ass about the women's football thing? This is all I can think about now. I never meant it as in like I watch men's football over women's in a way because of that. It was literally I prefer men's football because that's what I've watched my whole life. Whereas now,
not even that. There's not really been much women's football, has there?
Within the Super League,
not until the last few years, I'd say, when they started advertising it. Because when I was younger, I never saw a women's football game advertised in the middle of a men's football game. Whereas now it's all the time.
Till 2-3 years ago, I can't remember seeing any women's football.
But tell you what, I love women's football because it reminds me more. And this isn't saying about Billy.
It reminds me of lower league football.
Yes, in the best way, at a higher level, but the intensity.
I will argue that it's still lower league football. If you take a women's team, if you take that England national team right now, take it into League 2, they'll be competing in League 2.
But that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is think about, like, they're not playing against that. And I probably agree as well.
I would happily debate this.
But I don't think we should, right?
But I would back myself. Everyone was complaining that, that's how a real England team plays. Like they make the men's team look like shit.
Oh no, our men's team would probably dismantle that.
But that's the technicality in the coaches over time. Whereas men's football has had the
I think women's football right now is at the stage that if we go back 30, 40 years previously. The only issue they may have is the physicality.
That's what I've said. They're all the same, similar build. Whereas in men's football, you'll get a CDM that's 6'4", massive. Whereas in
No, that's not what I mean.
Do you not?
Tactically, they are a way behind the men's.
It's more about
But
physicality,
because-
tenacity. Like we were talking about Wayne Rooney earlier.
not
putting the body
even
on
that. Women's football is just getting kicked out. We beat Iceland, whatever we beat them by, 6 or 8-0.
I won't talk about that.
But that was a semi.
4-0.
It was.
I think it was 4-0.
It was a lot. But what I saw was, we're playing against a semi-pro team
Oh no, that was
in
off.
female football, which isn't meant to be degrading there.
Shit, yeah, that
But
was
it's
off.
still, if semi-pros in male football aren't really that decent compared to professional outfits, like we smashed San Marino 13-0, whatever it was.
That's just.
I think females looking into it just see the females doing better than the males because they're not whinging on the floor. And they're
they
seeing
wouldn't,
competitive games.
But that's what you like to see. Okay, let me go.
Okay.
I had this girl, I used to play football, and when I was younger, as a female, you could play with the men's until you was 12, like the boys' football. It was something like that, because I had this girl.
I thought it was like 13.
No,
14,
it was about, no, it might have been younger, 10 to 12, something like that. That's what I remember when I was younger, it was 10 to 12, the age. And I had this girl, Maddie, hi, shout out Maddie, she was a baller, right? I tell you what, she would be there on the pitch, and when she got old enough and she had to leave the men's team, we missed her. That girl was she was sick, like we won the league because of her, the way she was there and stuff.
I never made it far in youth football, but we had something similar where it was one of our strikers, they scored a few goals, but for us, like our other options are like a guy who showboats all the time and misses chances, and her. And she would always think of the team. She would always play, he's better than me.
Yeah.
But she was really good.
That Maddie, right, she was, okay, so put it this way, it's really sad because, right, I think she's got the ability to go further, but you're not allowed to play with men as a woman at a certain age because of the physicality and stuff. But she had it. She was better than half of the guys would play against. Like, she would get laughed at when she come on the pitch or when she was there because she's a girl playing for a guys team. That is so unfair. And then she would actually play and people would be there and be like, oh shit. Like, she can keep up with her. She was a baller. She was good.
I think there's just that stigma of females in male-dominated areas, because we can link this to esports, we can link this to motorsport. It's there, even now.
But why is she being hindered to then have to go play? Like, she's above these. So she would have been above the female footballers that would have. Why do females have to leave the men's football without physicality when it should be a choice?
I think it's more of a tradition thing as we speak now, because we've still got generations which see certain sports as what they were back then. In the future, we might end up having mixed teams.
I don't think we should have mixed as a professional level. I don't think that's fair.
I think it's just traditional.
But why should women, when they don't have women's teams about, not be able to play for a men's grassroots team when the women's grassroots teams aren't there? Like I said, she was one of my favourite players to ever play with. She was great.
At a certain point, because I can't see how you, without integrating it professionally, I don't see how it can be done.
Because why does it matter at grassroots if she's got the ability to play against all the men? Why can't she because of an age?
There should be a cut-off. There should be.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be 12. It shouldn't be that young. It should be 16. Something about that, because
no,
she could have kept up easily. Do you know how much it probably hindered her football career having to leave that young a men's team?
Okay, but hear me out here, where I go and say, when puberty starts hitting for males, that should be the cut-off. But that should only be a cut-off because of that.
I don't agree. I think I can't. Sorry, bro.
I know as a male that I don't find it like hurtful, but I know males who would find it hurtful in some aspects, and they might purposely go out and injure that person.
No, but look at me, for example.
I
I'm a
hate
tiny
that.
guy. I'm a tiny guy. Most of the women footballers are bigger than me. They do that. Why? I just don't think it's fair that her football career got hindered because then she had to find a girls team when she was better than that. Like, I don't understand why.
I think what we've got to take into account is back then there weren't as many options as
Yeah.
there is now. Now there are options. You look at the Women's Super League now. They're obviously, I don't know if we can compare them to the top level.
I know
Premier
one
League
of my
players, but
mates coaches like a third tier
There's so
women's team.
many options now for women, like especially young girls,
Like-
to go into football if they want to go in football.
Yeah, it's a professional.
I wouldn't even
football.
say there's so many options. Yeah,
In
we're
comparison-
started.
in comparison
Yeah,
to what
but
there were.
You think,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point exactly, okay?
in my opinion,
think
the
that was just
professional
time.
female game is 30 to 40 years behind. But give it
Yeah.
5-10 years, and they would have been they'd be in their mid 90s period.
Yeah.
In
But-
5 to 10 years' time.
My point exactly is there wasn't opportunities. So why would she, when she could have made it? Like, I'm not even just bigging her up for that. Like, she could have. But why does she then have to be hindered and play for a women's team when this? I know. Let's go back now. Let's forget about now. Let's go back to that time when I was younger. So I was 12, so it would have been like between 2008, 2010, right? Why does she then have to go to a women's team at that age when she's better than that? Like she didn't need to. She probably didn't reach her full potential because of the women's football teams at that point wasn't at the standard they are now. Do you know what I mean?
This
I
is what I was
mean,
saying earlier. It's about
this-
generations.
the sexism around women, because I don't think people are really that aware of the sexism in motorsport. And I'm not just talking about high up in motorsport, it is the grassroots problem, but it is mainly a working class issue and a rich person's issue.
We will finish the league table.
All I can think of is
We'll end the podcast with
it's-
the league table. How about that?
all I can think of is in the past. There are certain things like
An
motorsport.
hour quarter.
Motorsport football it's always been such a male in dominating terms of interest as well. So that opportunity for these to happen early
Well,
on is
you
never think.
think
It is generational. You
in the
think traditional
70s in
football, it was all
motorsport, you had Barry Sheen and James Hunt,
Yeah.
womanizers, and you had George Best. Those covered motorbikes, F1, and it covered obviously football. Obviously the male way of looking at women is as primarily a sex object, and
like housewife kind of thing.
yeah,
a
you
lot
think
of that's what it is.
Marilyn
Back then, back then, not
no,
now.
Here,
Yeah,
here
yeah,
now.
okay, yeah,
Marilyn
sorry. the
Monroe.
times.
Well,
It's just that-
arguably
it's just more
even
interesting
now,
from
but in a bad way.
Men
because
were the breadwinners, women stayed at home,
Yeah.
looked after the family.
Yeah.
Generically, that
There was
was the
different
generic
interests
time.
back then.
in the 30s to 80s, 90s.
priorities as well. Women always wanted to be like the
Yeah,
family orientated thing, whereas men always wanted to back then anyway.
Predominantly wanted this.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is let's go back to that girl. I know I'm going back to her again. But she had to stop because of the men hitting puberty thing. She was still bodying me and slide tackling me like there was no tomorrow when I was that age. You know what I mean?
Is
Like,
that not an anomaly?
Maybe it is,
Potentially.
But it's just the equivalent to Leicester winning the league.
they
mate.
should have allowed the anomaly. That's what I'm saying. They should have been like, okay, this girl's got
okay, I'm going to
something,
take this
let's-
back to motorsport. If there's an anomaly, it will get patched out.
Yeah, yeah.
I know of a guy that the MX5 Championship had a rule a few years ago where they said if it came from the factory with that engine, it was allowed. Now, everyone was like, oh, okay, well, they only sold it in the UK up to a 2 litre. Over in America, they're called Mazda Miatas.
Miatas, yeah.
And they had a V8. So
Fucking hell.
my guy is like a 3-4 litre V8. So my guy went, I'll use that engine. And bodied everyone.
It's fair.
Next season, he wasn't allowed to do that. Last time I saw him was about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was working on programming in traction control, because that is from factory. It is already in the ECU.
It's just getting it into
He just
the-
needs to figure out how to move it.
Okay.
When he gets that working, it will be patched out either immediately or the season after.
Okay, maybe it's an anomaly.
When there's that loophole to exploit, the only exception I can think of is Man City and PSG with financial fair play. They
That is
have
true.
not been punished properly and effectively. You cannot argue that they haven't, Jack. I don't care. They have
think
not
it is
been
though? It's because
properly
ours has been in
protected.
such a short a period of time, whereas you think of other clubs, right, have spent so much more money than us over long periods. It's like
Mate, I like Robson
It's
Reload now.
It's tough,
Channel
like,
5 coming out.
the only way to compete in sports nowadays is to have that financial aid.
Brentford has proved that wrong. Pipe down.
Yeah, okay, but Brentford winning the league.
No, but they are competing.
They're
straight
winning
out
their
the
own
blocks.
league. The fact that they didn't get relegated last season,
Yeah, no, but
did
they're
as
not-
well as
they're
they
not-
did.
they're-
Is,
Well, yeah, but we weren't in the Premier League when this happened.
But
we
when
weren't
there are
competing for
loopholes
Championship
to
or
be
League One.
exploited, and you allow it, it will. It's like the New Zealand trans swimmer. I think she is New Zealand.
No, are you talking about the bodybuilder, the weightlifter?
no,
There's a swimmer as well
Oh,
who.
Let me get this
It
up
might
because
not
we
be
don't want to
New
offend
Zealand,
anybody
it
by an
might be in
accident.
America.
with
I know there was
But
a
there's
weightlifter.
there's the trans swimmer who recently annihilated not every female record, but
Majority.
for that
Leah Thomas.
yeah, that specific category that they swam in annihilated the records and destroyed all competition. This is what we're getting to as people right now. Is we're discovering new things as people, and it is change. And as a species, we are really scared of change because it could mean that we're gonna be put on the back
A
burner.
big dynamic shift.
And this,
Yeah.
this goes with the football.
Not
if
just a
you're
big
thinking,
dynamic, but a whole.
This
Okay.
is why, let's say, if aliens exist, are we really gonna be willing to accept that aliens exist and coexist with them?
It's like me.
Because let's face it, Americans will go immediately. The people who are in charge will immediately go, "We have guns." Goodbye.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then
said,
they
yeah.
have like, if we go, they will have ray guns or whatever,
Thing is,
and
if-
they'll
if-
obliterate us, and we go, "Oh no, you are overlords,"
Thing is,
and
if-
that's our rain down.
if they're able to go from wherever they're from to here, we're already outmatched because we can't. We can just get to the
Yeah,
moon.
true,
We
yeah.
can't
Yeah.
even send people to Mars
Okay,
yet properly.
but I want to.
We're not good at
We're-
change, and that's where I feel like in the female game we're at, where we're having this issue, and the fact we won the Euros, the first major tournament
Trophy
that
for England.
any English football team has won since
96.
66.
Not 96.
Well,
Sorry,
this
I
is
meant
it.
66.
We are prisoners to tradition.
But okay, let me rein it back
Especially
in a sec.
yes.
Back to
Yeah.
that girl.
Out of the UK.
She might have had a good football career. Think about that. I'm sitting there saying from my perspective what I saw about. She could have had a good
Yeah,
football
she
career
may
going
have been
towards
the
football. I don't
motivator
know.
for it, but
I never saw that. But I'm speaking from what I saw, is that I saw how upset she got when she had to leave our team due to that.
Oh,
And so I don't know her career afterwards. I'm speaking about it. Could have been great. I don't know. But it's still a bit sad that opportunities still aren't there for
Yeah,
women. And
yeah.
that's what it is. Why are we sitting here putting football as a gender when it's football? We're all here for the love of
But
football.
you
We're there for
think-
the love of football.
I don't think it should be gender and football. It should be gender and competition.
If
That
they can
is
still
the
compete, then they can
wider-
still compete.
It is the wider argument that should be had.
Yeah, true.
Because we have this. I can't remember what your essay was about, and I can't remember what yours was gambling, wasn't it?
Mine was about gambling as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
mine was sexism, and
This is our on it. Let's explain this a second.
Yeah,
this is our
this is-
esports. One of our essays for
what
last
was it?
year in foundation.
Our final our final year project.
And it was
this
contemporary
essay.
issues within esports. That was the thing we had
Yeah.
to do. And me and
We-
Jack
we
did it
picked-
about gambling for esports.
Yeah, we
Let's-
picked
with
a-
it.
I'll
we
let Ben
picked a
explain what's going on.
subject. We picked a subject to write an essay about, and mine was on gender and
Quality. Well,
equality associated with gender, and it's such a difficult way of talking about it.
It's, I think, with things with when we're taking women into account, I think it's about someone willing to take the step to make it happen.
Yeah,
It's all about willingness. This is why football, obviously, because more women are getting more interested in football nowadays, just viewing it. Hence the reason why hence the reason why women's football has been able to take the step it's taken.
Like I
it's
said,
only
to
going to get
see-
bigger.
Personally, to see those two girls in their garden, the young girls in their garden back home, playing football, pretending like they're playing for. Because I'm from a small town, and the city next to us, Worcester, is like 8 miles away. It's not really that big. The biggest city close to us is like Hereford, Gloucester, Cheltenham, Birmingham. So Birmingham, you have all the big teams.
Where are you from again? So,
Malden.
if you want to say.
Malden, so Worcestershire area.
Okay.
So to see those girls talk about, technically speaking, our local teams, big teams from the local West Midlands area, pretending to play for them is what every lad dreams about. I think every boy who has played football to some level has thought of this when they're playing with their mates in their back garden.
And now girls are starting to dream the same dream too.
One
And
second.
having idols.
Yeah.
Female idols.
There's people for them to want to strive to be like now,
Can
especially
I-
when we win the Euros.
That's
There's
such a
the
big
generation,
thing.
like the younger generation now, seeing something like that is going to spur girls on.
It's like when we saw David Beckham, the Roonies as kids. We
Yeah,
were
I
like,
never-
go against
I
Greek
never
girls
liked
and that.
Beckham as a player.
I love Dave.
I grew up on mid-90s United season review VHS tapes.
Can I say something? I've got
On
a
the
Dave.
VHS, I remember under my bunk bed watching United on my little CRT TV. Like, that's a nerd thing, man.
Can I
but
say a David Beckham
to
story?
me, your PSG one.
Yes, please. Okay. Right, so Ben knows this.
Then we'll go on to our
no,
new
then we'll
predictions.
finish this, get it to the
Yeah.
end, and we'll call it
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
maybe, yeah? Okay, so I went, when was this? It would have been year 10, about 2013 maybe, I was in year 10, I think it was 2013. I'll have to bring my little keychain, I've got in the bag, I'll show you, but we went to a trip to France for the weekend. We had, so it was to PSG, that was, we trained at PSG's training ground, we played against...
It's gonna pop to the
yeah.
YouTube.
We played against like teams in France. We travelled around Paris. We did that, and obviously, so I'll explain it to the camera. So if you're listening anywhere else, that you're not going to see it, but you'll have to watch it. So say if there's this road down the middle like this, there was our side of the training ground, this side of it, and then the first team players this side. So we had some of the coaches watching us, blah blah blah. We've heard halfway through our training session the players are on their way out of the training ground. So we've gone there. I've seen Thiago Silva, Zlatan Ibrahimovic there, and Sacco. Do you remember Sacco played for Liverpool for a year?
Yeah.
Saw him there and stuff.
Palace.
And Palace. Yeah, true. Who else was there? Can't remember. But this is when Beckham, like, not long. It was literally about a month or two before Beckham retired or something like that. It was his last season, and we got very lucky. It was in the February, and then he retired at the end of the year. Blah blah. My goal was to go watch David Beckham live. And then, so we've come out of this entrance, so there's one entrance here, and then further down the road is another one. Beckham had a couple of his kids in the car. It was Brooklyn, and I can't remember the girl, I can't remember this girl's name, I can't remember. Pardon?
Harper?
Nah, earlier in it. Who's his first girl? Is it Harper?
Harper.
He had Brooklyn, Harper, and his other kid. Who's his other kid as well? The one that wants to...
So he has two boys, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, all three of them were in the car then, probably. And I've run in front of him trying to get him because Dave
I know
Beckham was my
Harper's the
idol,
youngest.
man.
Romeo.
Romeo, Brooklyn, Harper. That was the sorry, that's my bad.
Harper was
I don't follow his kids that much. Beckham's my idol, not his kids. Like that's why he had them in the car, so he couldn't stop and speak. Like that was what we was being told by like the team around. And I've sprinted right, and he's come out of this gate as I've gone there, and he's nearly ran over my foot. I don't care, but this is a good story for me. Like I nearly got ran over by David Beckham. What the fuck? But yeah, it was mad. And there was the Thiago Silva goal. You might have seen it when I was in Paris. You know the one where he gets it and it goes off the pitch and it didn't count and he curls it in against. Was it Nice? And some team given I can't remember it. Like I said, it was 2013, nearly 10 years ago now. But yeah, that Thiago Silva goal was there, and but yeah, I nearly got run over by David Beckham at the end. That's it. I'm terrible at stories. I'll get better throughout it all. Please, like, give me some chance here, please. But yeah, no, that was my most favourite time in school ever. The fact that I could go to PSG's training ground and go to a match, do all that. That was great.
I like how your favourite time at school was almost getting killed.
No, not getting killed. Nearly get my foot ran over by David Beckham.
To be fair,
I would brag about that all the time.
One of my memorable moments from school was nearly getting hit by a bus and just feeling nothing. Like, oh, cool.
I'd shake it off like nothing happened.
Right, should we go through to the next? Should we go to like 8th or 9th?
If put David Beckham, it would be next level. No, we're just go 19th. Jack, isn't it?
Yeah, Jack
19th prediction.
Okay, so let's remind you all because it's been probably a good 20 minutes now. We started. So Jack in 20th has got Nottingham Forest. Ben in 20th has got Leeds. I've got Southampton, and then I've got Fulham in 19th. Ben's got Everton in 19th, and Jack, who would you like in 19th? Once you loaded on your phone.
I'm going with. I've thought about it. I'm going with Bournemouth.
Ooh.
Just off the fact that I feel like they've been fortunate enough to survive this long.
Okay.
And
they just got promoted.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
No,
they're fortunate enough to get through the first game of the season.
They survived too long.
They're fortunate enough to win that game of the season as well.
I was thinking
sitting third, aren't they? It's not like that.
I was thinking about
Second.
before they got relegated. I totally forgot about that. Do you know they were kind of just
Yeah.
When Eddie Howe was there.
So they were fortunate enough, but I think Bournemouth are just. I don't think they've got what it takes. I know they won their first game, but no, they drew.
Do they still have Solanke? Or Solanke?
They've got to have him still. They've not lost.
Something like that.
All right, we've got to get through this a little bit because they're going to get bored of us.
What's 19th Bournemouth?
Bournemouth. Do you want to go 18th next, or do you want me to?
I still think they've got
I think we can't talk
Jack,
through them all.
18th.
18th. So 18th was tough for me. I was going. I was. I was also. I know you put Leeds at bottom. I was thinking either Leeds or Southampton because it's like we were discussing before.
Okay.
Southampton are a survival team.
I think
They're bottom half table team.
Yeah.
Okay, I've already done.
You have?
I've already had predictions with my mates at home, and this is going to be different because I can't remember them predictions. Just like okay, so who do you want?
I'll go with Leeds. I think. I'll go with Leeds.
Do you want me to go next, or do you want to go?
You can.
I'm going Nottingham Forest in 18th. As much as I don't want to, I like the team. I want them to do well. Actually, they're another Brentford from last season where you don't expect them to do well, but you want them to do well.
I've got Wolves.
My mate Kai supports Wolves, and I agree with that. I think they're a bit.
Wolves. I don't think they're that bad to get relegated, but they're not.
I just don't think they're done enough.
I agree with what you said with
They're
bottom
not
half team.
that bad to get relegated, but no one's that bad to get relegated. If that makes sense. I'm looking at every single team on here.
Mate, this is a tough season to predict. There's good teams.
Everyone's making moves up and down.
The top four are easier to predict for.
The
top four are
not
so
for once,
easy
but
to
they're
predict.
so easy to predict.
The top easier to put them into the top.
The top three are
17 to 10th. No, 20th to 10th. I think is going to be the hardest. Like you said, if you're not in the top 7, you're ruined.
Top 6, top 7.
Go on then, 17th because you've already got it down. Because we need to get through this quite quick because who? Villa. Steven Gerrard. I'm not going to do it.
Bear in mind, Gerrard just lost his main man, his right-hand man, who came up with most of the tactics.
Yeah.
Pretty much when he was
dressing
at
room,
Rangers.
the dressing room thing. Yeah.
I'm going to throw it out there and put Wolves there on mine.
Yeah?
Wolves, yeah.
Mine's Southampton.
Okay.
Just off because I feel like they're just surviving off the skin of their teeth.
Either way, I think it's all, no matter what gets said of our predictions, it's all going to be very close. Anyone.
I think this will be a good season, unless something goes seriously wrong for a couple of teams.
If you're not in that top 6 to top 8, you're going to be struggling, and that's why I put Forest at 16th. I think they have Dean Henderson.
16th going Forest, yeah.
Yeah, because they have Dean Henderson. They just got their
Lingard as well, isn't they?
Yeah, which I see as the move that makes sense for a newly promoted team.
I think it's positive for both sides, but is he going to be able to perform like he did at West Ham?
I don't think he will, because the scenario that created his best performances won't be replicated, and on top of that, it is a stupid move on Forest's part because of the wages. He's on like 150 to 200k. That could be spread out over 2 to 3 players who would have a better impact.
Get Frankie de Jong for that. Don't come for that.
Right.
What do you mean? He's on like 90k and he at Barca.
When he gets it.
16th, I'm going to go Brentford.
Brentford?
I want them to be better. Brentford's one of those teams where I love so much because last season made me love
area,
more.
don't you,
I used to play in Brentford and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I like them because they weren't meant. It's another Leicester situation where they weren't meant to do good and they done really well.
They're not meant to be there, but they're there. Kind of thing.
Like
getting a refill.
The love of football of the manager. I can't remember his name now, but the love of football that they have, the fans, everything. You want them to do well.
The reason I love them is because there's more Moneyball. If that makes any sense.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. So Moneyball came about in baseball, where there was a specific team that was able to produce players that people overlooked or people just didn't think they were going to do well.
Tony.
Yeah, Ivan Tony is their best example, and that's why I got Tony in my fantasy football team.
I am surprised he didn't leave this season. And not out of anything against Brentford. I don't think
if he has a good season, he will move to top 7, top 8 team, or maybe even outside UK.
Go on, 16th. We've got to get through it because we've left them hanging for a while.
I've gone for Palace.
Oh shit! Okay, you think Vieira's not gonna?
I just don't think they're gonna be able to perform as well as people think they will this season.
I could see Palace in 16th, but it goes back to it is so tightly contested.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is hard to choose who these people could be.
You think what their main playmaker is? Olise, something like that.
Yeah. Eze.
Is Zaha still though?
He is so good against Arsenal.
One or two bad injuries.
I think it's harder to predict, like you said, the bottom half, because those teams are more alike than we're talking the top 4 or 5.
Potentially, I could even see Leicester in bottom 5.
I think there's a lot of jumping around going on in this bottom half of this table this season. There's a lot of jumping around.
15th, I'm going Brighton.
Brighton?
Yeah.
I've got Brentford, so only one up from you, Craig.
Right. Okay, I'll rate that because that's good.
I was also going to go Brentford.
That's good, we'll do that then.
If I can't think of a signing you've made this summer.
That's why Wolves are so low as well, because realistically Wolves needed more.
Well, as soon as they lost, Adama Traore, they kind of lost a massive. They lost.
No, that was good. Do you know how many opportunities? Okay, I'm not slating Traore. I'm not slating him. Do you know how many goals they missed out because he was a bit too greedy, or his last pass wasn't enough, his last shot wasn't there. He had everything until that last
threat was there.
No, the one for me was Fabio Silva going on loan. That should have happened last season so he could get more first team top league Europe experience. If he went to that club that he did this season, last season, he would have had European experience He would have come
More
back
under
to
the belt.
Wolves. He would have done well. Like, he's a wonder kid in FM. He is one of the, like, give it 2-3 seasons, he hits pretty much everything that you would want in a striker.
They expected an 18-year-old to be the finisher. Or is he
I
18?
don't-
He is 18, wasn't he?
He's like 19 now.
No,
20.
But last
something like
season, he was
Yeah,
not ready
that.
for
I
it.
don't know why Wolves bought him and just put him into their team.
Because Nuno was buying every Portuguese player he
No,
could and
that's
shoving it
just
in
no,
there.
no, it's not Nuno. That's Wolves. It's carried on this season.
Gomez,
They just-
though, Andre Gomez, what a player he is.
They just brought
Jimenez is still.
Guendez from Valencia, I think it was. Which obviously
left back, left wing, innit? Left wing back,
left side of the pitch. But he's a good player. One of Valencia's best players. Valencia's going to be under
14 if he wants to go first. I've got mine if you want me to.
Did you even go with your 6?
Yeah, he went Brentford.
I went Brentford with you.
So that's
All
why.
right. I've got Southampton.
Okay. I like the difference we have.
Yeah, once again, it depends if they are able to keep their team fit.
This is what I'm saying. Like
But
bottom 10 is going to be a
last-
lot of jumping
yeah,
around.
but
I'm going with Villa. Just throw it out there, Villa. You
Last-
carry on. I'm just.
Last year, Southampton, that Ralph did a really interesting trick where around 50 to 70 minutes played, there was a player who went down for a prolonged period, and they would have a water break. They'd take on their supplements.
Did it all year. I remember Shearer
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah,
Winning a
and
match
it
of the
was
day.
only brought up in like February, March time, and they were allowed to exchange tactics, and suddenly different team.
Go on, 14th for you. Who would you say right now? I'll put Villa there, by the way. I'll put Villa there, and then I've got my next one as well,
Villa.
so I can go first next.
They have such a good team.
It's
Villa.
an awkward one though. The whole Premier League is the hardest league to predict.
Villa could come 8th, or they could come.
Come
I
last.
don't, I
You
don't
never
know.
know.
I don't see them.
Nah,
going
don't
down.
say come bottom 3.
If they do, it's just wrong.
I'll go with Everton on this one.
Everton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I just,
I
still
don't
think-
see anything from Everton.
I
That
mean,
will
they
give
obviously
me
they've just had-
confidence that high.
they've had the new signing. I don't think that I think they're still solid enough not
But
to.
they were just in a relegation battle, missed out on a few points.
Yeah, I'm going off other teams in terms of experience as well. I know sometimes experience can't be a thing because, like we said, Brentford, Leicester, they did it, but they're still not bad. They're not obviously.
The
They're not the
way
best. This is
Makes
what I'm
you
saying.
feel
This
any
one's
better.
hard. This one is.
You go.
Okay.
carry on. I was gonna say I've got Everton in 13th, one place above.
Yeah,
so that's my next
they're not
one.
a bad team. They're not great. They're not bad.
I just don't think
But it's like we said. This
See,
is such
that's
a
the
tie.
thing,
This
you-
is such a
You
such a
have
good season.
Everton in 14th, you have them in 13th.
Oh, and you're 13th.
What I see of Everton is that they're just not good enough. Right now, they need that reality check, and their owner needs to be like.
But-
The owner needs a reality check that the way they're playing under that manager is not the way I remember Everton ever playing.
I know Everton were always
what?
like a 7th team.
Yeah,
Like they come
but-
7th,
but
8th,
what?
somewhere around there.
But also on top of that, I have Fulham. But that is with the exemption that,
What, in 13?
yeah,
Okay, I like that.
and that is on the premise of Mitrovic turn up against Liverpool and scored a brace.
He's always been able to score goals. Everyone knew this. It's just
No,
the
but
difference
he
in the Premier
never
League and
got it in the
Championship.
Premier League. He barely managed more than 14 goals in the Prem.
14 goals in the
Which
Premier.
actually, when you say it out loud, that's
It's not
good
bad.
enough for top 10.
And then he was scoring 30 goals in the Championship. He needed
He
more.
broke records last season.
He's that type
And
of player that needs
I-
more time. I
Oh,
think.
mate, the fact he broke the record last season and I overlooked him for my fantasy league team with Steve and like with my dad and my godfather, the fact that happened and I'm now looking back on it like, shit, that really it's fine, the mic's fine.
Is it good? Are you sure?
I
I'm just,
can see that, I can see
no. You just we're getting relaxed now. All of us are getting towards the end, chilling out. With.
The Mitrovic, if he carries on the way he is, I see Fulham finishing mid-table.
Okay. Who you got in first? We need to rinse through this now because we're going to get a 2-hour podcast, Rafa, which is good.
I imagine it's going 220 if I'm honest.
I'm going to go with Wolves. No particular reason. I just think they're just mid-table team. They're not. I think they're just a mid-table team personally.
These are just fillers at this point.
These are just
someone
fillers.
needs to be there.
This is one way you can be right in any occasion here.
Yeah.
This is like you can have Wolves in 15, 16 and still be right.
If they are managing to keep players like
Andre Gomez,
Cody and everything. I know he's
who's
not
that
fantastic, but Cody.
who's that other midfielder?
Gomez, and Moutinho.
Yeah,
they're basically the Portugal
something.
national.
Ruben Neves.
Neves, yeah.
Fucking hell. Neves is the
absolute
player as well.
from
But-
that one. Do you remember that one?
But Gomez is when Gomez gets on those free kicks. He
They're-
does-
Wolves midfield is top 8 midfield.
They've got the potential to be
Oh,
good. It's just
Gomez
Do they
was-
still have Cody? Do they?
Yeah,
still
they
have
still got Cody.
Cody's
Okay.
a good leader for the team as well.
That's what I'm saying. He's not fantastic, but it's like his mentality.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
leader.
I personally, Wolves is a good team.
They are.
They're just not playing right.
This is what I'm saying. They're like
So,
this is like you could argue these
who's
teams were
their
here.
manager?
Wolves
right
could
now.
have been. I can't remember. I'm not gonna lie. My mate knows. My mate's a Wolves supporter. Hi Kai. I've put Wolves in 17th. Fuck you. Sorry.
I put them to be relegated
Right.
because honestly they are not good enough for that spot you put them in.
12th. I'm going Palace. Because
Palace?
with Fink, they've just got Eze.
No, they have.
No, they had him anyway, whatever it is. But
At least
he's
he
literally got
had them.
Vieira. My guy's a midfielder that's got so much potential. Vieira, I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm biased as fuck, it's going to be that. But they've got Vieira there. Eze played so good against Arsenal. There was 2-0.
I just got Brad. He's
Oh, is he back already?
Burnley. That's where he's from. And his local area, Preston, Blackpool, they are really against each other.
Go on, we need to rinse
To
through
the point
this.
of fighting. Blackburn as well.
We need to go on, 12.
12, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, okay. Oh shit, I forgot about Bournemouth. I'd have put them probably. Actually, I'm going to get mine. Bournemouth are going to go 12, Palace are going to go 11. Sorry.
That is
and that's,
exactly what I.
that's a little bit copying Ben, but I forgot about Bournemouth.
No, honestly, I have Palace in 11th as well.
Yeah, okay, so that's what's your.
I was gonna go Villa.
Villa.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
As
good
well.
shout as well.
It's
Yeah.
the same argument as like they're not great, but they're good enough to fight
No,
in the mid. They are
Bournemouth-
mid-table.
sorry, Villa. On paper, their team is good enough to knock on European football. Leon Bailey, when they signed him, I went, "Oh shit,
Wow.
they mean business," because he just came from a top 5 team in the Bundesliga.
Leverkusen, wasn't it? Yeah.
Leverkusen.
I just don't personally think they've
European
got enough
football
to compete with the
experience.
Premier League teams that we've got currently in terms of top half of the table. They
Yeah,
might be able to
this-
compete European,
this-
but not with what's in the Prem.
Should
No,
we rinse
no,
the next
no.
4 positions after this? Get through them
Okay,
quickly.
well,
don't talk
obviously,
about
I
11.
have-
No, Jackson,
Oh
11.
no! If we
I've
go
got,
to
I've got,
9th,
I've
I
got
reckon.
Fulham.
Okay.
I think they'll have a decent. I think they'll have a good start, like they
Yeah.
already have, and then they'll it'll hit them that they're in the Prem. And they're like, oh shit, you know.
No, it depends on Mitrovic.
Yeah, I think I think for Fulham to come back in the Premier League and end up mid-table will be a good finish for them. Personally.
Yeah.
I'm going Leeds 10th. I respect Leeds too much, man.
What gives you that impression then?
I like Leeds. There's some personal bias.
So-
Nothing
so it's
about
just- okay,
I just
yeah,
quite
it's
like.
personalised.
I like Leeds. Okay, Phillips was a big reason I did. I know he's gone now, but I like Leeds. I want them to do quite well.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
they're a team that I sit there and think. Actually, I like their football. They're enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? I want them to do well.
Their manager.
Ailing scoring screamers on his right back every single time.
Yeah,
It's
Their
unbelievable.
manager came from the Red Bull system, and he should be providing an interesting play. But it depends if the
I want
Leeds
Jack's
players.
My 10th. I'm gonna go Newcastle.
Sweet damn, oh shit.
Oh really?
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Newcastle.
I could see that.
Same.
Really?
My argument still
Yeah.
persists that they're not good enough to compete for Europe, but they're good enough to compete in the Premier League mid-table.
Once again, I feel Eddie Howe is doing a really good job. He is a really good manager. It is only year 2 of this rebuild. The players, there's still some players who are not good enough for that next step up.
I've got to agree, and mine is Saint Maximin.
Oh, that guy, his feet are unreal.
So in terms of like skill and pace, he is, but he doesn't have what he needs.
Trippier and right back, everything like, oh my god.
I think if they develop him more, he will be good for Newcastle.
Joel Linton moving to CM was the revelation of last year, and everyone looked at that going, "Oh, okay, shit,
yeah,
we're serious."
He was good. He had a good game.
To me, the fact that like they were 19th when Howe took over, and now they're like they finished mid-table. The fact they even did that was amazing.
What's their right on the right? Is it Armenia?
Armenia.
Is it Armenia?
Yeah,
he looked decent on open day.
He's alright. He's always
decent.
been decent
But
anyway.
my whole argument here is that this is just my Affinity. These
got,
could go anywhere.
In
you
the
can
back,
argue
they got
positions.
Dan Burn and Sven Botman, which are going to probably be their starting centre backs, and that is a very dominant. I remember.
Do they have Nick Pope in goal now? Is that Newcastle, or am I imagining things?
I don't know.
Have you forgotten about Brighton?
No, Brighton. I'm putting them.
I'm putting Brighton 10th.
I'm putting Brighton in 9th.
I'm putting Brighton 10th.
That was my 9th pick.
Okay, I'll put Brighton in for you.
I know it's not just because it's United and they beat United, but they did look solid.
No, Brighton.
They still got the same manager they've had for ages.
They look
decent
solid
like
on open day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Tall guy.
Graham Potter is.
But he is stuck.
He is really good.
Yeah,
I was going to go 9th with Brighton.
It's nothing exceptional, but he.
No, I think I rate him as he could go and manage a top 6
You want
team.
Brighton?
I love Brighton.
The traditional top 6 team as well. He could go and manage and do a job at.
I was going to go Brighton.
Their defence is getting a bit older. They just sold their left back. Is a bit hit and miss, and that's why I put them at 10th as well. They're good enough to be top 8.
Yeah.
They are good enough for top 8.
They are solid this season.
But it is, once again, they need to have an exceptional season to be top 8.
I think they could do potentially what West Ham did when they had a solid season. Obviously not the best season they could have had, but they will this season. And what about this season where they could have a solid season to prove why they can be in the Premier League and be a top, like
No.
top 8, top 17.
Last season,
You can't
Brighton.
whilst I go for a week. I've got Leicester in 9th. There we are. I've got
Same.
Ben's go now.
Same. I put Leicester in.
I was gonna go
And
Leicester
then
8th.
In
personally.
8th, I want quickly before I go. Who else have I missed? I can't remember. Like, once you get this far in, you forget.
I really personally think.
These are the big boys we're talking about now.
Yeah. 9th, 8th Newcastle actually. I don't know. Are they going to reach the conference or not? That's a bit of
Conference, yeah.
The Europa Conference.
Oh, that's only up to 7th, and that's
What I'm saying. Do I think
8th,
Newcastle will be 8th?
So
or do I think they're going to be 7th?
8th, 9th, 10th, 11th are pretty much. So I've got in 11th Palace, 10th Brighton, 9th is Leicester, Newcastle I put 8th. But I see those 4 teams are very interchangeable, and it is purely injury and fitness
And January signings.
the remainder of this transfer window, and yeah, like you said,
I think
the
January's going to be
January
big.
signings.
I think.
But they all individual. I think Leicester are the weakest team out of the 4. The rest of the teams have the better signing options. They are not teams that are coming in for their players like they are Leicester. Newcastle want to buy Leicester players.
I really need a wee. I'll be back in a sec. I'm going to still, don't worry.
But Leicester's the weakest because the other teams are on a better rebuilding and they have a better structure around
I also agree with that. It's like what Liverpool did with Southampton when they brought all their decent players. It's like what Chelsea did when they took on Kante and obviously they took Maguire away. United did.
Yeah,
their title winning
Leicester haven't really rebuilt.
They have not rebuilt themselves.
since
They're
that
just
summer.
they're surviving off the Vardy being who he is, and
when
then
is
occasional.
Vardy going to give up?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mahrez as well. Obviously, he went to City, but when they lose,
Drinkwater,
yeah,
who
once
would
they,
be a brilliant player for Leicester even now, I'd say.
I think
But obviously,
Vardy being their
isn't-
mentality and who
yeah.
in that team, I think he's a big part of it. And I think once they lose,
yeah,
it,
Schmeichel's
Schmeichel's-
just left.
yeah, I was
hasn't
gonna
he?
say Schmeichel's just
So
left.
I didn't even contemplate that. That to me would actually, I regret putting Leicester in ninth. But once again, I think the rest of the team are capable of bringing it
Just
up.
holding it, like sticking to it. So who you going eighth, guys?
Newcastle.
Yeah,
I
think,
played
yeah.
with Newcastle.
Oh, I don't know though.
I had
Who else
Leicester.
is there?
I had Leicester at eighth. So.
Because personally, I don't see any of my top
Who
seven
else
dropping
have I-
down
Who
to
have I
8.
missed? What other 8 teams have I got? So I've got
So-
Southampton, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Wolves.
So
Brentford,
in-
Brighton.
If you're gone
Chelsea,
Newcastle
Man
at
City,
8,
Arsenal,
you should
Tottenham.
still have United, Spurs, West Ham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
Newcastle
it.
going 8th. Yeah, no, easy. I think you. Oh, okay. I'll go first on the next one then. Newcastle. Both of us in 8th. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Man United in 7th.
Same.
I don't think that. Okay, they've got the players. They haven't got the togetherness to be able to do it.
We don't have the players.
No, you need more midfield. You need more
No,
midfield.
no,
than you're there.
no. We don't even need more midfield. We need players. We need players. Like, regardless of position, we need players.
Man United, all of us 7th. Okay, I rate that. That's our first. All
I-
3 of us triple
I think
threat.
of what we've got now with United, it's a solid bet.
Here's my issue. This United team that we have currently, as long as they switch on, are good enough for top 4. But realistically, I don't see us getting in the top 5.
Okay.
I don't. They
I
are
don't,
either
not yet,
6th
not
or
yet.
they're 7th.
I think Ronaldo doesn't even want to be there. He loves Man United. He'll
I
put
don't-
his all in. He will do that. But
I don't want
realistically,
Ronaldo.
no one does. And that's not because of anything. It's because of the stigma behind him. The ability that he has. You expect more because you've got Ronaldo. Oh, you're a big team because you've got Ronaldo.
And then
No,
you
it doesn't
expect
work that way.
a team to be built around Ronaldo.
That's
To play-
the issue.
That is
Which
the
it
issue.
isn't happening because it's too old for that.
Yeah.
Not saying it's too old. Not going to be.
I
No,
think
he is.
his quality of play
Technically,
for most players
he
is too
is.
good for them.
Yeah.
6th, I'm going West
West
Ham.
Ham.
I think West Ham, after last year, okay, it was a bit ropey towards the end, but I think they could deserve to be a bit higher up. I think,
So
as every West Ham would say, they're a big club.
Big man's coming over Tottenham, I can tell.
Please.
I did go.
Yes.
Yeah.
But going to West Ham, I put them in 5th.
Good. Okay.
See,
I'll rate
this
that.
is I know we beat them, but we
Obviously-
beat them just because we had that extra clinicalness at the end. They were solid against us, and if they can compete
Personally,
against a team like us,
That's a bit ropey in the
Yeah, I know.
beginning.
So are
West,
we, though.
West Ham.
I put Wet Ham.
Well,
I put Wet Ham.
Okay, Jay from the in-betweeners vibes with the scuba gear on.
Granddad's funeral. Sorry.
Bit random. West Ham, I see. I have always felt a bit strong to West Ham. I don't know why though.
I think they're like-
Recently,
I think that's a
I
hard
don't
man
know
club,
why.
innit? I think it's
And
one of those.
obviously, we go to staffs. We have a London campus. Our London campus is situated like a stone's throw. Well, not like 0.2, 0.3 of a mile away from that Olympic Stadium, and I walked past it 3 or 4 times when I was there. And honestly, who the fuck keeps their phone on that loud?
That's just like great.
Yeah, I know, but who keeps their phone on?
Wait, who did I put in 6th?
No,
Just to leave
um,
it by accident. Newcastle. Yeah. No, I didn't.
No, you put West Ham.
West Ham.
I-
Fucking hell.
I think West Ham are good enough for 5th
I'm going Tottenham
because
with
of that
fifth.
experience.
I've
I
got
have.
Tottenham in 5th as well.
I think between those two, they'll juggle. I think it'll be a fight for that.
I
Do you
don't
know what? They look good. Tottenham look good. As an Arsenal fan, they look alright.
Do you know
That
what?
First game, they look
You-
like the
I-
Pits.
Did you put Spurs in at 5th as well then?
I've
So I-
always rated Tottenham. I think they've had a good team. They just can't handle. They can't finish the Humming Son, Harry Kane. Come on.
Spurs are like one of the teams that I don't mind supporting.
Yeah, I'd get behind
Wait,
Spurs. They're a good team. They
I
just can't win
know,
anything.
obviously, as an Arsenal
I'm an Arsenal fan, it's not happening ever. They're looking at her in 5th, otherwise I'd have put them 20th. But
Realistically, they are a
No,
good team,
they-
though.
Yeah,
their
that's...
signings they've made this season look scary. Like, actually look good. Like, they've done all right for themselves. Like, okay, Richarlison, he's a good striker, but he's a bit of a knob. I'm not gonna lie, his attitude isn't in the best place sometimes. He needs to fix that and he'll be even better.
I think that's just an ego thing for him because he was pretty much the best player Everton had.
Yeah.
I think
true.
that just
The
because
fact he was still getting
Everton,
into that Brazil team as an Everton player.
Everton were basically on the
How?
Richarlison show. They were. If it weren't for him, I think it would have been different.
4th, I know what you two are going to say, but I'm going to say Chelsea.
What do you think we're going for?
Arsenal.
No.
Here's the thing.
I would have gone Chelsea as well. I think
Would
Arsenal
you?
would be better than
I
Chelsea
think,
this season.
okay, I'm being a little bit biased. I will do that. But I think right now, we need to have a bit of confidence behind Arsenal for a bit. As an Arsenal, the last couple of years we've not had the confidence, which is rightly so. But right now,
I don't have
I think we've got it.
confidence in any of my picks. If
but
I'm
this
honest,
is the fun part.
I
We
don't.
come back in 38 games, and then we see who done. Do you know what I mean? It'd be fun.
So the thing for me is that I see Arsenal, West Ham, Spurs, United to be fighting for the 4th position, and any of them can get it.
I'd also
But
like
who
to,
you put in there?
I'd also like to
I
point
put
out
Arsenal.
that Timo Werner has
Because
just been
they
confirmed
had-
that he's moving back to Leipzig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just happened on here.
They've moved
We-
back to
I
Leipzig.
We look up here because Sky Sports News is on. We're not
Yeah,
here.
for
That's not even-
anyone who has the video on,
Yeah, if we keep looking up there, it's because we're looking at that.
we just had the hundreds on. I
I
actually
think
wanna
we
watch
don't
that.
need to say much about this top lot because this is the easy part. I'm going Arsenal in 3rd, and that's because I want to have confidence in my team. I think this year, like I said, they've made good signings, didn't they? Arsenal have had a really good transfer season for once. The only issue they've had, I think, is not getting rid of Pepe, and that's not because he doesn't have the ability. I just don't think he fits in with the Arsenal thing. He needs to play in the middle and play down the middle. Because the only thing he had was cutting on in the inside, and that wasn't enough. He needs to be in the middle a bit more. He's a skillful player, but with Jesus there now, he's not going to get.
You got to
anywhere.
think about the link up there. You got Jesus, you got Saka now.
I-
That'll be a good combination.
Yeah, but then we've got
Jesus
Odegaard,
may not be a
Smith
massive
Rowe.
goal
Just in general,
scorer.
even if you look at Zinchenko, he's such a
He's unique. He's versatile. He can
Versatile,
change.
yeah, no, perfect.
Because
He is.
I love the Athletic and I love Tifo on YouTube. They are 2 channels. If you're into football and you want to learn more, go watch them because they mentioned it earlier in their podcast that where do you play Zinchenko? Do you
So
obviously he's a
Zinchenko was
left-hand
originally a
side player.
midfielder,
Do you want to hear
And
an
then he's
Arsenal
got
fan?
then he
Put
comes
into
back to
left
left
back.
back. But he has filled that role. I've got to say, fantastic.
No,
Very
but do you
good.
want to see what I'm going to say as a... Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah,
I don't think...
where would
As
you
an
play
Arsenal
Zinchenko?
fan, right, Zinchenko's playing perfectly there, but I think for Man City, he could push up so high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For Man City, he had the players there, the confidence to push up
Yeah,
so high.
but Pep
But with
typically played with
Arsenal-
the inverted wing backs.
With
that's the issue.
Arsenal, I think he pushes a little bit too high. From what I've seen so far, we haven't seen enough, but so far I think he pushes a bit too high, which leaves our defence feeling a bit unconfident. So I think
But
when
is that-
Tierney or Tomiyasu is back, I think we should push him more into Xhaka's position, where he's playing a bit further up the field in midfield, because he's an offensive.
But
He's not a defensive
is
left
that
back, really. He's
I
not
don't know,
a
against PSG.
I,
point
bear in
shit,
mind we're
mate.
one game in the season, so is that just not? Can we just attribute that even to the way that Arteta is trying to set up his team, and it is a new system that he's
Yeah.
implemented, and you just need time to go.
100%, but at the same time, right now, it's going to cost us games how far he pushes up, I reckon, because Gabriel and Saliba haven't been playing together for long, remember? This is their first as well. So when you've got your fullback, because we've got Ben White at right back, who's more of a centre-back, so he's going to not be as
Who's
pushing
the
up.
other option at right back?
Tomiyasu, who's a banger, he's more
I
offensive
think
as
one
well,
thing-
so I think when both of them are more offensive,
So
it'd be better.
the way you counter that is by you having like a half-back CDM,
Yeah, but the fact...
or just someone in CDM who can drop back.
It's all
Zinchenko when Tierney's back. Tierney left back, Zinchenko in Xhaka's
so
a back.
CDM.
Yeah, no, because Xhaka's playing a bit further forward this time.
Isn't
and then
Xhaka
Partey's
looking at
coming back.
leaving?
He's been looking at leaving for ages. I think that would be the right thing for him to do mentally, stuff like that. But
It's about the system that City played though. When Zinchenko or Walker or Zhao would move up, one of the centre backs, aka Nathan Ake, would fill that role.
Exactly, we don't
until
have that.
It's either recovery run or Zinchenko's an absolute workhorse.
Right.
If he needs to get back, he will get back.
Yeah.
you're both putting
That's
you're
fair.
putting Chelsea and you're putting
I'm
Arsenal in
Arsenal
third. I bet you're
in
putting
third.
Chelsea in third, didn't you?
No, Liverpool.
Oh shit! Okay, that was unexpected.
It's a
I-
tough one.
So I put
Arsenal.
Chelsea second.
Okay, I'll put that straight in then.
The Chelsea in second to me happened because they got Koulibaly, they got the left back from Brighton to add a bit more depth.
What's his name?
Mark, I'm just gonna call him Mark.
His last name's like Cuccello or something.
Yeah, something like-
Cuccello or something like that. I can't remember.
Who's that?
Something like that. The
You know, the one
Spanish
from
left back.
Right.
Oh, Cucurella or
Cucurella.
Cucurella.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Cucurella.
he's from Brighton. Do you know what? Because
That is a
Chilwell
brilliant-
did an interview today saying he's a bit worried about his position because of him. I don't know if it was quite that. It was a bit more like now he's got competition. If
Yeah.
he needs to be injury free, Chilwell does to keep that spot.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I'm saying. It is an added depth and added quality in the defence. I think their defence is going to be the primary focus of why they do so good this year.
The defence
But-
has to be strong for teams this year.
They need to have a really good striker. I know they brought in Sterling, but they do need that one more player up front that will be a threat because they just got rid of.
Bergman and Lukaku went back, didn't he?
Lukaku's gone back to Inter, yeah.
Could you imagine? Right, hear me out here, because I know Lukaku's he's not built for the Prem anymore. Like he did good at the beginning, but then he's
No,
not.
I think it was
Could you-
the system he played under. at
Could you
Chelsea last
imagine
season.
Sterling and Lukaku though? The drilled balls in. I reckon that would have been.
I
a good
don't- I
feeling.
don't
I
think-
reckon it really would have.
I don't think Lukaku would have had the legs for it.
No, because then he
I-
could float around a bit.
Oh
more.
yeah, he would
Sterling's
be
got
more
the legs.
paired, but I
don't
don't think he'll be able to keep
think
up with the step.
Lukaku was made for Tuchel's system.
No,
Yeah,
that's
100%.
fair.
Lukaku would have been able to keep up with that.
So
But
you're
he
going
wanted to
Chelsea
go,
second.
so-
We're
Oh,
both going Liverpool, and
Liverpool.
all three of us Man City winning the league.
I know it's biased
Yeah.
for me, but you can't. Other than maybe our defence a bit, you can't complain at our squad depth. It's ridiculous.
I don't think your defence can be complained about
Like,
either. Ruben
I-
Diaz has
I would
proved himself,
personally-
Ake's getting there.
I would personally, if Ake can improve, I'd
I
be
think
happy
it
with
was
Ake.
linked to going back to Chelsea, wasn't he? Though.
Who? Nathan Ake.
But there's no need of
Who-
Koulibaly. There's no need of
There
Thiago
is,
Silva.
there
There's-
We-
I
still
don't-
is. He would
we
be a
are
third choice
solid.
centre back.
Did you see how good Ake looked against Chelsea? Okay, they lost. I know it in the
In the champ,
fucking
the final.
the Community Shield.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're on
Community
about
Shield.
against Liverpool. You
Not
said
long-
Chelsea then. I thought you were about the Champions
Wait.
League final.
Oh shit, yeah, no, that's because fucking hell, we said so many football teams today, isn't it? Yeah, against Liverpool. I think he looked quite good, but I think the finishing on Man City will let him down that game. Okay,
It's
we'll
fine,
come
but-
back.
Audio.
The
Yeah.
winner that. What's the winner getting? Go on.
So-
Whoever's got.
We're going to do
hold
an
on.
average.
No, no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whoever's
so-
got the most ticks.
Incorrect.
Whoever's
No,
got
no,
the
no,
most
no, no.
correct
We're doing
positions.
it on points. So if you are if you have the correct if you have the correct position,
It
you
counts as a
have
point.
3 points.
Do you not think though?
If
you
you're
should.
one position out, you have 2. If you're 1 out, you have 1 point.
I don't think that's
Other
good
than
enough.
that,
Nah, that's messed up.
I
My-
think-
my
I
mid-tables
think-
fucked me that.
I think we should have it. Whoever
I
gets
don't
the
think
most.
it has.
Whoever gets the most right, the most in position. So no points. No, you can't be 1 out. You can't. But whoever gets the
I was
most
doing
right.
it on Spencer FC's rules.
Do you know what I mean? We should do it as whoever gets the most right.
If I-
Whoever
if-
gets the most ticks and correct next to him.
I think I'm only confident with like 2 of them.
Right.
I
so
see
we'll
Liverpool.
do-
I'm not confident other than City winning. And even then, I
I
can see a league table where City don't win.
But this is a solid season.
That's-
This will be a good season.
That's what I'm saying. I looked at that relegation, who will get relegated, and I can see where Leeds and Wolves stay up. I don't really. If Lampard is still in charge,
Yeah.
I do not see for Wood second. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot Brentford had Aaron Hickey.
you go
Aaron
off
Hickey on
6th and lower, maybe 7th, because you got West Ham. It could be anyone's game at that part of the table. The top half of the table, the top
Honestly,
5,
I
1
see.
till 6, 7 is
I see
more
a
predictable.
possibility where West Ham finish top 2. it has to be.
Right, let's end the
there
pod. I think we end it there. I think we end it on that and then come back to it. I think we've got to end it that one. We've got to say bye to the guys. You've got to say to it. It's your twos. I'm the guest. You two have got to. What?
No,
end it
because
there
I
now.
don't
There's no
wanna end it there.
explanation.
I want. I just pretty fitting. Although one side of London, son.
Oh, man.
I think we end it there.
No,
I don't think you need an explanation. The
leave
fact
it
that you
here
said
where-
West Ham are going to be second, I don't think you need an explanation.
West
There's
Ham,
the potential, I guess.
there is a possibility of West Ham finishing top 2, just like Leicester won the league. Just next week's podcast, there will be some boxing talk, and there will be.
I think we go into the MMA as well. Let's go with Paddy at the minute. He's big with what his message is. Let's go
Paddy,
into that a little
the
bit.
esports related teabagging.
And Molly Meatball as well, McCann. She's a good person to talk about. We've got a few.
You-
I
you're
love
gonna have to-
I love UFC.
You're
MMA, so I'm
gonna have to come back
No,
and educate us
I
on
will
that,
do,
because
I'll-
I don't know enough about Molly.
It's not my podcast, but I'm going to be here a lot. Put it that way. I'm going to be here quite
Really,
a lot.
that on the channel on YouTube, this is going out on. There's going to be 2 podcasts. There's going to be
Should
my
we say the
Jack's,
date it's
which is
recorded
the-
quickly? Because then
The
we'll
ninth-
upload it
the
later.
9th of August, isn't it?
Yes, it's the
Tuesday
9th of
the
August, so
9th.
if you don't see it for about a week or 2, it's because we're still learning this new... We're trying to get it together.
No,
We're
this
rookies.
This is coming out no later than the 11th.
There we are, you heard it here. It's done. Simple as. But we are still learning, we're still doing it. Tell us, if you disagree with our opinions, tell us.
Yeah,
we want to
comment.
know, we want to have this, we want to have you...
Who knows? You might even be brought up in the next.
Yeah, if you've got any
podcast
topics
is
you
a
want
little
these
bit
guys to talk
Or
about, even when
the
I'm
one
not here,
after,
tell us.
potentially.
And as you can already tell, we go
Kids.
off topic a lot.
This
it
is-
will happen.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to
learn.
bear with us. We got back to the predictions
Some-
20 minutes later.
About
And we
40.
we only made one prediction at that point.
I have a whole 2 pages here, and I think I mentioned 3 or 4 things here.
Yes, and
Let's
yes,
go, lads.
that was easy as fuck. What the fuck?